All right. Let's see what we can do about game time here, I suppose. I'm going to keep eating my DM snacks, my iron rations. If Eric shows up, cool. If Eric's not here, that's okay too. I've got an episodic adventure plan for today, idea for today that doesn't require one specific character necessarily. We'll have to divert from the mission of trying to find King Ku's ring, though. So you guys have been hanging out some in the Empty Mug Tavern. I mean, this is the tavern in the Podunk part of town. Like the suburb, not a nice suburb though, like the junction where the highways meet.
Still better than the tavern Lex took us to.
You also, yeah, that was that was down by the docks. The rotting log or something. Rotting ore or something like that.
The rotting ship.
The rotting ship was a gnarly, nasty bar. A dirty place. This is
still better than the dripping seaman.
But, you know, do you guys just gravitate to the Empty Mug? Yeah. Do you guys gravitate to the Empty Mug, or do you home base up at the Dungeon Master's cabin? That guy with the purple hoodie and the staff and the games and the big table with all the character sheets on it? Or do you tend to? I guess we talked about this last week, and it seems like our Greek toga character Adrian, he usually houses up at the Mage Guild, the Mage Tower.
Yeah, I'm leery of anybody who wears a hoodie.
Takesha and the others, for the most part, or several of them, go downtown to the part of town with the skyscrapers where many giants live. And down there are 3 finely constructed temples: the Temple of the Sun, the Temple of the Moon, and the Temple of Set, and other Egyptian gods. And you guys went into the Temple of the Sun and got some rest there. Do you remember, or could you describe, Lex, the administrators of the temple there, particularly one who I think is a cat person, a Rakasta?
I can indeed.
Who is she?
He says, opening his Word document where it's written.
Yep. She is some kind of a Rakasta priestess, maybe the top in charge or the second in charge there.
Yeah, she was the temple keeper. Let's have
the temple
look.
Keeper. She has a name, and
Yeah, she's a little. Said, "Come back, I'm sleepy."
Yeah, her name was Nefer.
So Nefer is there, and can you describe her species appearance, like what she looks like in terms of her outfit, but also like what she? Yeah, it's a bipedal cat lady. Describe her a little
Yeah,
bit
so
like that.
she's a Rakasta, which is a cat sort of beast person. She's quite tall for her species. She's also quite imposing for a priestess. Her fur color's kind of golden, and her eyes are of a kind of hazel type brown. She's always wearing modest garments, which is very fitting for a place in the priesthood, apart from her gloves, which are expensive silk with what looks like gold leaf that has been woven into the gloves themselves. You're not sure why, but for as long as anyone can remember, she always speaks very loudly, almost to the point of shouting. Whether the place is quiet, whether it's loud, or whether she's close to you. A few people in the temple think she might have a hearing problem, but they're not entirely sure.
Do you voice her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she, although she's a keeper of the temples, in that she does frequent the moon, the sun, and the temple of Set, she exclusively worships all the gods of the good alignments. Although she does acknowledge the others because they have to be around, obviously, and do their thing. But she kind of looks after those. She's usually attended by her head servant to the temple, which is a human priest in his late 40s. He's quite bent and crooked, and he looks like he could have been dragged out of a ditch somewhere. He's quite wretched. He's thinning hair, and he usually has a hammer on his belt, which you suspect is his holy icon. He originally was a servant to a particularly nasty individual who was then rescued by the priesthood. And although he trained as a priest, he never made it. His temper always got the better of him, so he was awarded the place of head servant to the temple, a bit like the head butler in a lot of ways.
So it's like that Filch dude in Harry Potter.
I have no idea. I've never seen Harry Potter.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Never seen it, never read it.
Don't worry, I don't like Harry Potter. So.
Here's our party of 4 in the Temple of the Sun. We have, let's go around and introduce the cast of those who are here. First is player briefly, and then his character. Let's start with this dwarf over here. Who are you, Solid?
I'm playing Hedrig Bronzax. Basically a priest of Clangeddon Silverbeard. Do you want to know more? But technically a barbarian priest from a barbarian dwarven tribe. Kind of ended up in the city after getting lost. He's foul-tempered, and he likes smashing stuff.
Oh, good.
Sounds like most dwarves I've met.
I know. Stereotypical dwarf. I like to drink. I like to kill things. Thank you.
There should be some enemies today. There should be some random encounters and things. I don't even know exactly what they're going to be, but I got a randomized table depending on the places that you choose to go on your mission today. Let's keep going around the room, and I will ping to the next person, which is going to be Havarti Chris. So Chris, to introduce just a bit about yourself and then a little bit about your character, and we'll keep going around. And while we're doing that, Takesha, Lex, I'm going to whisper you something for Nefere to say to the party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I play Havarti, who was a human boy who ended up working for the Order and eventually got transformed into a mutt. And I still work for the Order, but in different ways now.
He's a bleeding dog.
Best nose in the West.
He's a bleeding dog.
Not much shorter than a dwarf.
Don't make me do that. That's racist! Wait, that's not really racist. That's speciesist!
Speciesist. Man, you got racism and speciesism both. That's a combo. Just imagine how fucked up things could get. I like dwarfs, but not those light-skinned dwarfs.
Hey. Know the difference. There's surface dwarves, there's mountain dwarves, there's hill dwarves, there's deep dwarves.
Those deep dwarves are okay. I've got friends who are deep dwarves.
But those Druger or Draugr, ugh.
No one likes them, they smell.
I say Dwergar. I don't know if that's right, but that's what I say is Dwergar.
Draugr. Wait, no, they're not Draugr. Draugr is a dude and dead guys from Skyrim.
Wow, did somebody just cut off your balls?
You'd have to have them to begin with for them to cut off.
Skyrim. Thanks, Chris.
No problem.
This prelude section of the campaign is sometimes called 1,000 Years Before. It's going to be a two-part campaign where we play 1,000 years before a desertification apocalypse and another follow-up with main characters 1,000 years later. The characters in 1,000 Years Before are known as the Ancestors. The main characters in the upcoming campaign, 1,000 Years After, will be probably called the Descendants, but they don't have to be direct lineal DNA descendants of the current characters, but they will in some way be able to call upon the power of these ancestors. So the steps that you walk now are legendary footprints from 2,000 years earlier that later may influence the abilities of your main character in the main campaign. The city is called Hirokote. And in the town, in the city, there are many, I can spell that for you.
If you don't mind.
There are many dwarves, humans, Rakasta, which are cat people, giants in the form of like hill giants and stone giants. These guys are like 25 feet tall. They live primarily downtown. They've done a lot of the construction work.
They make the dwarfs look really short.
The dwarfs look very short and have a combat advantage if they ever get into a fight with the giants have a hard time catching dwarves.
You run through their legs.
Kneecaps.
So that's some of the demographics in the town. You've noticed that there are a lot of cats around the town. So there's the cat people, but there's also straight up cats, which we're all familiar with, kitty cats. There's dogs too. We have one in the party. Chris has already had, Havarti, our dog PC, has already had a couple of encounters with cats, and sort of Chris displayed Havarti's demeanor towards the cats, who basically, which Chris is a bit of a chaotic player sometimes, so it could change in different circumstances, but in general, Havarti restrains himself from chasing cats around the city too much, knowing that some of the cats are revered as holy in the temple. And Havarti the dog himself, having spent some time as a sort of a temple dog, albeit maybe one that's masquerading as a temple dog when in fact was brought up in the Thieves Guild. Takesha, can you talk about your character? Because we're still going around the room. We'll do Takesha and then we'll do Adrian, and then we'll start off today's sort of encounter with the Temple Keeper. So can you introduce yourself and your character to the group first?
Sure. So I'm playing Takesha. She is what appears to be a very young human. She's currently dressed as a priestess of the Temple of the Sun, and she is standing next to the Temple Keeper. She's usually bearing water for the temple. That's generally her job, and yeah, that's pretty much what she's doing at the moment.
Do you want to reveal any other background or keep it at appearances?
Well, she works for the order, obviously, like the same one that Chris does. She does jobs for them, depending on what they need to have done, and for that reason, she wears disguises a lot of the time.
Oh, what order is that?
So within the city, there is a group called the Order. The Order are not the Thieves Guild. Those two things are different. The Order is more like a peacekeeping force in as much as it's mercenary in nature. So if you had a problem between, let's say, a bit of tension started between the dwarves and the giants, and you didn't particularly want giants and dwarves raging through your city, and the watch couldn't handle it, chances are someone would get the Order involved, and they would pay however much coin or resources to have the Order investigate and either talk the people out of it or fix the problem. So they're not strictly assassins, they're not strictly diplomats, they're fixers of problems, and how they go about that.
MacGyvers.
Pretty much, yeah, and they have people with lots of different talents for doing those various tasks that they need doing. They're like the city's most secret. So everyone knows about them. Everyone probably knows someone that could contact them, but you wouldn't just contact them to do something like minor. Generally, it's for something serious that's going on, or to head something off.
They're basically like the cast of Infinity War.
Pretty much.
Very good.
Bunch of fun killers.
So, are there many cats in the temple, and some are holy, and some are strays and ferals and whatnot?
Yeah, so because of the pantheon, which is a lot like the ancient Egyptian pantheon, cats are revered as holy. That doesn't mean that they're always treated nicely. They in the temple of Set, some of them are sacrificed. They can be mummified as well. If someone important dies and requires holy cats to go with them into the next existence, they'll mummify cats to go with them. Cats in the city are generally treated well. The rumour is that if you kick a cat, you'll end up getting kicked harder. So no one's really sure, apart from anyone who's got either a lot of temple lore or works in the temple themselves, why that is. But a few cats will be exclusive to the temple, and they are the temple's chosen cats. Those ones will be anointed. They will have had rituals performed on them, possibly been magical in nature, and generally they'll help show the god's pleasure or displeasure by their own actions, because cats are notoriously forward at displaying what they want. So the temple will definitely have some high-ranking holy cats at the moment, and they'll be walking around the temple. There's probably quite a lot of cats in the Temple of Light, Sun rather. There will be some in the Moon too, and probably none in Sets, unless they're about to be mummified.
What to go back to the part about how the holy cats might have certain powers and certain like reflect the will of the gods or the something? Can you kind of drill back on that part or repeat it?
Yeah, so of all the cats in the city, because cats are revered, generally speaking, they're quite common, which is good for a number of reasons. First of all, they keep a lot of the pests down, so we don't particularly have a big rat problem with so many cats around the place. A lot of cats will be used in divination because they're seen as holy animals. So whereas a family might keep a cat for good luck, or keep a cat just to keep in touch with the gods in that way, if they don't have a direct spiritual link to them, the temple itself will have at least one anointed cat. And that cat will have had rituals performed upon it, enchantments performed upon it. It's probably going to be present at most religious festivals, religious doings around the temple itself. And for either through providence or a priestess will have noticed, or a priest will have noticed something when this cat was born, or maybe something this cat did, that will show that the cat is in direct communication with one or all of the gods. Probably Bast, seeing as she is the goddess of cats and of mischief and fun. So there'll definitely be at least one, and it'll be a highly anointed cat. They'll wear collars, and those collars themselves could be enchanted, probably with a lot of richness, with gems, because Bast likes shiny things. She likes to have festivals. They're usually very well fed and very well looked after, and they're usually enchanted in some way.
Every temple has a glowing cat. Got it.
Yeah.
This temple has you mentioned that there could be more than one holy cat, right? So there's a cat who's not the top holy cat, but there's one who's the younger kitty who has been identified as a prospect that it may be like a reincarnation of an earlier holy cat. They think it's a possible holy cat, but it's not. It's not the top holy cat in the temple as of yet.
So it's like the Panchen cat.
Yeah. And its name is Chibakit. Chibakit. And I put a picture of Chibakit, a stand-in token for now. It's this blue cat with yellow eyes and pink ears. And this cat would be known to those of you who have frequented the temple and slept in the temple. For some of you, the cat has come up to you and purred near your leg. And for Havarti, it's probably kept its distance. With that said, we're going to keep going around the party. We got about 2 more people to introduce. And after we introduce those, we will find out what Nefere, the Rakasta priestess, says about Chibakit. I've got an NPC character that's with us sometimes. He wants to keep his nose out of any battles or negotiations that may occur. He doesn't want to really change the flow of the party's narration. He wants to write down your story and make it into song and legend.
He's like Hemingway without the guts.
He's a bard called the Gold, and he has a little lute in a hat, cowboy hat kind of thing.
That's a sombrero.
Yeah, it is a kind of a sombrero. Yeah. What's
Cowboy
that
hat
word
goes-
for? What's the word for the? What's the word for the Argentinian Cowboys?
It's right there on my tongue.
Yeah, it
Is there
starts with a
the
B, I
B?
think.
Like Barachos or
Yeah, it's something like Barachos. It's not that, I don't think, but it is something like that. He's kind of like one of those. He's a mustachioed story.
Gaucho.
A gaucho, yeah. He's kind of a gaucho. The Gold is kind of a gaucho.
Gaucho.
I was going to call him a mariachi band player, but okay.
So he's kind of a DM in PC. And then the last to introduce today, this character. That would be Jesse's character.
Well, Adrian is a spoiled Greek enchanter who's traveling the world in search of knowledge and more unique enchantments. He's allergic to cats, much prefers dogs, doesn't like thieves, especially not those who try to get him killed in an alleyway. That's
Okay.
about it.
So you've already got some inter-party conflict.
I mean, she did set us up.
Okay.
I can't see how we just overlooked this.
I do remember that happening, and that's good. I'm glad there's some starting, conflict and tensions and things going on in the game. So things are starting to happen. I feel like we've had pretty light adventures so far at the intro, but yes, there's a few things that are starting to give us a little personality with each other. What about yourself, Jesse? How long have you been playing D&D? How long have you been on Roll20?
I've only been on Roll20 a few months. I've been playing. I mean, I started with D&D way back in high school, but then after college, I didn't get a chance to play for a long time. So it's kind of fresh again. This is pretty new.
How do you like the Roll20 so far and interacting with people from potentially around the world or around the country?
Roll20 works out pretty well, although voice and cams are kind of flaky, but most people use Discord anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the interface, the character sheets, the roles, the tokens, and the maps, all very flexible.
Cool. Glad to have you in the group. All right. So we've got our four-person team today. We've got a dwarf, a Greek enchanter, a dog, and a ostensible priestess. And a bard tagging along sometimes. Trying not to change the game. We've got a cat called Chibber's Kit, who is an up-and-coming holy cat who has gone missing. And the priestess comes to tell you guys about this. Or the priestess informed Takesha and Havarti of this, and they went and gathered the other two players. Adrian from the Temple of the Magic Tower, the Wizard's Tower, and Hadrig from wherever Hadrig was bellied up at most recently. You've all been brought on this day, this episodic gameplay day, to the Temple of the Sun, this yellow glowing temple in the heart of the downtown with all the super tall skyscraper buildings and the residences of the giants. In this temple, you are approached by the priestess, who basically already knows Takesha and Havarti quite well, and the priestess is here to tell you of a mission on behalf of the temple that would grant you graces from the temple, such as free heals and a resurrection for later, if needed, and sort of like lodging. Like the place acts as a hostel, so you can stay here, you can get food, you can get heals occasionally, but in exchange for that, you're sort of offered to do a potential temple mission. And Lex will take the voice of the priestess who tells us about this.
I feel like you've kind of told us.
Yeah, I figured you could translate what I just said into maybe one or two sentences of voiced.
Translated into proper English.
Yes, indeed. So yeah,
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, that's fine. That's okay. Yeah, so you're in the temple, and you can see that Takesha's next to the head temple keeper, who looks like she looks a little bit worried, and she kind of like approaches you guys. Takesha kind of follows down next to her, kind of standing a little bit behind, a little bit respectful to her, and she wanders over to whoever wants to step up, whoever's sort of in the front.
PCs, you can move your tokens to approach more closely if you wish. You guys are kind of far back on the red carpet there.
I don't trust priests after what Takesha did to us.
Okay.
I'll stand behind the stout dwarf.
Who's also a priest.
Yeah, exactly. You're in bad company.
Don't know that yet, but
she eyes on the dwarven priest, and she welcomes you. She says, "Hello there. I wonder if you could help me." She appears to be speaking loudly, almost more loudly than you'd expect.
What do you want now?
Oh, I'm afraid one of our temple cats in training has gone missing, and I require someone to go find them. I'm not very good at investigating things. My assistant here, she indicates Takesha with her tail, says that you guys would be good at finding people, and being that you're new to the city, it kind of, I feel like I can trust you more than I could regular people who might have reason to take the cats. You see, they're holy icons to us and could be used in dark ritual. And that's the end. You'll get like 500 XP.
Good job,
See
guys.
you later.
Yeah, you get the XP, so that was a good game today.
Well done. Naturally, we could use your investigative skills.
So we're gonna hunt down a cat.
what do you have to offer in exchange for finding this cat?
She looks over you. What do you require? I mean, the temple isn't poor in any way. I'm sure we could settle this with coin. Perhaps I could furnish you with a scroll or two. Maybe some healing of some kind, some kind of service that you perhaps might need. Indeed, I could spread word of your great deed. Of course, you'd be welcome in the temple. Yes. It's up to you, really. What does a man of your obvious travel and scholarly learning require?
Well, gold always helps, but I can't speak for everyone here.
How about this? She
I don't know if the cat's worth a lot of GPs.
she looks thoughtful. This cat's very important to us, and we have many. Chibakit is potentially the next head cat, one of our ones that will either enjoy a long and fruitfully blessed life within the temple, or a slightly shorter mummified existence in the one of the others. But we have many cats around here, and a few of them are enchanted, and I'm sure that for a group such as you, I could part with one of these cats that would have upon it an enchantment that you could use in your travels or adventures.
You're telling me you're offering us an enchanted pussy?
She raises an eyebrow at your sort of your lowbrow wit, and she nods. Yes, quite so.
That's awesome, Jesse.
What we do with
Yes, so that is exactly what today's mission literally is. That's a very good way of summing it up.
It's not summed up until we put it in chat.
I tell you what, we'll find your cat, then we'll negotiate whatever we decide later. I'll think about your options.
That's agreeable to me. Do give it some thought. The temple as an organisation, the three temples, we are one of the most powerful groups in the city. You might want to consider that when you're deciding.
I will give it its appropriate weight.
All right. That's the quest for today. It allows you guys to go out and explore more of the map. And the principal question when you get back out onto the street will be, where do you want to look for the cat? You're in the downtown of the city so far. And I don't know what clues you would have about which way to go. There's two major directions that you haven't explored at all yet. Off to the west, out of the city, or off to the east, deeper into the urban jungle.
Did the priest have maybe like a favorite pillow that the cat liked to sleep on, or
Aha.
anything like that?
Aha.
So
I think
you want to
that's quite
smell
clever.
the pussy?
You would.
More or less.
Yeah, cats love their places that they sleep. So you'd have access to that. So you could definitely go to where this cat has slept recently and sort of gain her scent.
If possible, before we took off, I would like to do that.
All right. Let's see, Chris. You definitely do that, and I almost want to have you do a roll. I would say as any other character, I would have them do some kind of a roll, but as a dog, I'm going to say you automatically succeed.
Got a super high perception too.
Yeah. I mean, I might make you use the perception later to find the cat smell, but I'm going to say you automatically have the ability to memorize the scent. So you now know if you smell that exact scent again, that you'll be able to match it up.
Lovely.
Can I do a couple of technical asides? Lex, how come my camera's black on stream? Is there any way I can fix that, Lex and Jesse?
Black on my screen too. You might hit reconnect.
Yeah.
Okay. I hit reconnect once. I'm going to hit it again. I don't know if it would help if you guys reconnect. I don't know. Give it a second. I'm going to do it again right now. I did it a minute ago, though, and it didn't change anything. Another technical
Did you
bit.
reconnect to Roll20 completely?
No, I just hit this thing called reconnect, like it's a button within Roll20 for the cam. Like not restarting my whole Firefox.
Yeah, try just rejoining Roll20 again.
Flame Fox.
All right. Okay, I guess I'll do that. All right. Well, while I'm doing that, let's do this other technical thing too. I'm inventing a cool new thing I'm trying to make a cool new macro for Roll20, and it's called emoji. Trying to bring some emoji game into Roll20 chat. I still don't have it all the way where I want it yet, but can we test it out today? I want to see how the emojis appear across different browsers and operating systems. So you guys can go to the collections tab at the top right above the chat, enable your macro quick bar, and enable a button called emoji. And that will put that button at the bottom of your screen. After that, you should be able to emote with little emojis. Everybody try it.
See, now it's over. Ugh, I missed the perfect one.
Nah, your camera's still off. Is the light on for the webcam? Maybe it's
Yep.
when it sleeps.
Yep, lights on, and I can see myself on my cam. Let's give it. Let me give it a minute. Like I think in past weeks, sometimes it took like a couple of minutes, so I'm not going to judge it in the first second.
Correct one selected under video output or whatever, or video input.
Yep.
Whichever.
Yep, I did the one I always do for it. Yep.
No, well.
I mean, the thing that indicates that, Chris, is like it's working on my end. Like I can see myself in Roll20.
Because I can't see you either.
Let's give it a couple minutes and then we'll analyze it. So, does everybody feel like emoji work? Because they look slightly different on Windows than on Mac. Or yeah, I think that's the distinction: is Windows versus Mac. It may be different on Chrome versus Firefox also. But
I just reloaded and I can see you now.
Oh, cool.
You now reappeared.
Oops. Okay. But you went black on Lex. Lex, do a reconnect. See if you can make me and Chris show up.
I see.
So
Lex.
me, Chris, and Lex are the three that are using cam today. So it'd be awesome if we had us all three.
I guess I need to send Chris some cheese.
I would like some cheese.
I
It'd
mean,
be
why
better
is it?
than my beer and pasta.
You gotta go to the grocery store after we're done, man.
Yep.
You slacker. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
That didn't happen.
You did it, Lex. Now we've got the full stream. We got 3 people's faces on. We've got a quest for the enchanted pussy. Cat. And we've got a dog who has cleverly done the first D&D action of the game by saying that he wanted to investigate the kitty's sleeping quarters and collect the memory of the scent in a way that a dog can especially do. So you now are led by a dog who seems to be able to track the scent of the kitty. You do basically notice that the footprints of the kitty are, more or less all over the pews and the red carpet of this temple. You'll have to go outside to find a trail. What kind of cues are you asking for, Takesha?
Make clues, not cues.
Clues. You're asking for clues about the location of the cat.
No, I was suggesting to the group maybe they do. And as I'm playing out, I wouldn't really roleplay with myself.
Sure. Okay, other PCs. So Adrian, you could do some asking of the priestess to maybe get clues about, sort of make sure you know what the cat looks like, what its habits are, or whatever you think might. So it would come down to Hadrig and Adrian to ask the questions here, if you have any. Hadrig just basically, he's just over there muttering, "Cats are assholes."
I mean, it's a blue cat. How hard can it be to find a blue cat? I mean, there can't be a lot of blue cats running around, can there?
What he said, that's kind of my opinion. It's like, you're asking me to find a cat. How hard is that?
Don't dwarves have like a natural cat sense,
No, cats are vermin to us.
That's what I mean. You find them, right? Like Alf, you just hunted them down.
Only when they overpopulate. And they fill the fortress with themselves. Cat explosions are not beautiful. I mean, seriously, we're finding a cat. Let's go find some food, put out traps. Or let the dog track them.
Yeah, the priestess raised an eyebrow. Oh no, you really can't trap cats. I really wouldn't recommend you do that in the streets. That would be greatly frowned upon.
Oh. say that again. Wait, let me make sure I got that. So no tracking of cats. How are you
No,
going to track the
no
cats?
trapping of cats. One
Trapping,
cannot trap
thank
someone
you.
else's cat. That would not go down well.
Good point. So tracking is fine, but no trapping. Yeah. Okay.
She
So
kind
that's
of
like
smiles. She kind of smiles and she says, "Not all cats are what they appear to be. If you were to trap one and it was the wrong type of cat, it could be embarrassing, shall we say? I'm sure your dog there." And she sort of nods to Havarti. "I'm sure your dog should be able to sniff it out."
Yeah, I'll put my faith in the canine.
She draws a sword on you, mate. Roll initiative. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I think I don't have a specific way. I don't have a specific way of how you guys are going to find the cat. So it's up to players' ideas, and I think Chris had the smartest idea so far. So you guys gather a physical description of the cat, and your dog has its scent. I think that's probably enough gear for you to set out on the quest. If you guys want to ask her more questions, you can. Otherwise, I'd say the time is basically optimal. You guys are all healed up. You've got all your spells. Okay. If you guys want to just go to taverns and brothels and just play taverns and brothels, we can do that too. But if you guys want a dungeon and dragon,
We'll definitely find. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
I feel like that's almost what we did last time. Like you guys, as soon as we got to the city, y'all were definitely the most excited to hit the taverns and the brothels. So I'm going
I
to
don't
again.
recall us hitting any brothels, but
Oh yeah, man, episodic play. You guys labeled them on the map and mentioned them.
we
quite a bit
labeled
and
them, but
stuff,
we
so-
didn't hit any of them.
Well, it's not 100% real-time play. A lot happens in the black behind the curtain.
Gotcha.
So it's implied in the cut scenes between last week and this week that, time has passed and you guys went on quite as much of a bender as you possibly wanted to.
So what you're saying is we all need the priestess to cure us of the clap.
No, I don't know. I don't know if you guys caught STDs or not.
Roll your
I'm not gonna roll for that
Constitution
one.
saves.
Wait a second.
She mentions that the cat in question is wearing a collar. The collar itself is a collar that's given to all novice cats, and it has a holy icon upon it of the goddess Bast, which is fitting, as she is the goddess of cats. But unfortunately, Bast is also the goddess of tricks and of games, festivals, and food. This particular cat did enjoy festivals, parties, and food, as all cats do. And she raises her staff and she bangs it on the floor, and it makes a kind of a high-pitched ringing noise. Adrian, you probably hear it a little bit. Takesha puts her hands on her ears like it kind of hurts, and Solid, you probably hear it slightly. Havarti, you hear it as this horrible, almost like a dog whistling noise. And a little cat comes scurrying from under the altar, a very young cat. She picks it up, she raises the cat up and says, "It would be one of these," and she points to it.
Good to know.
Oh, and it's broken.
Ah,
God damn
let
it.
me see. Should have worked.
It should have worked.
Should have worked and ended with JPEG like it was supposed to. Let me see if it opens in a new window. Yeah, you can click on it and open it in a new window. It opens safely. Oh, that's really cool. So that's a little metal symbol on a collar. That looks great. I wish it had showed in the window. I don't know why it didn't, because the URL looks correct. But
I'll throw it on the stream for a moment.
so for the purpose of the stream, you could click over to the other window.
How do you
There
link
it is.
images in chat?
There's a macro that I set up for you called Chat Pick. That's the easiest way. I recommend put that macro in your macro quick bar at the bottom of the screen? You know how to do that?
Yes, I know.
Okay, and then you can colorize those at the bottom. That's kind of cool. Like right click on your macro quick bar buttons and set colors for them. Huh. That one didn't work either. Oh, you did the same one. Yeah, their website maybe.
I took the SSL version off just in case it was.
Oh, that was smart.
Didn't want to embed, with.
Yeah, I was thinking they might be
20's
somehow like
SSL,
preventing
it
hot linking. Or...
didn't fix it, so I have no idea.
Anyway.
Well, Jesse, try a completely different JPEG from a completely different website. Make sure that my macro is working. I think it is. So feel free to use the emoji drop down whenever you guys want. I think it's fun. What I want to do, my next goal is to like increase the size of the emoji appearance in the chat, make them bigger. That would be cool. Okay, there's a pic.
Yep, it works.
I don't even know what that's in reference to, and don't
either. Yeah, same. I don't think I know the story of that one.
Yep, there's a cat. With the evil red eyes. All right, so the dog has the scent, and the dwarf wants to make boots out of it if we find it.
So rolling initiative for that.
All right. Just because the map is neat enough, I would say go ahead and walk yourselves down to the exit. And when you get there, I'll take you out into the city if that's if you guys are ready to set out on your quest.
Boop. As I'm walking out, I'm going, why is everything so yellow? Why does it taste yellow?
There's just cat pee everywhere. No, it's the Temple of the Sun. That is why. There's a sunny glow throughout the place.
Well, I mean, I also was going to say, why does it smell like cat piss in this place?
They keep it really, really clean, actually.
Are there crazy old cat ladies here?
There are in the city, for sure. Lex, how'd you end up getting the picture to show?
I found an alternative link.
Oh, cool.
Something to do with the embedding, I think.
Is the holy water up there?
Yep, there's a holy font in a donation box.
What happens if the dog pees in the holy font?
I don't know. We'll cross that bridge if that happens. I don't know. Are you trying to coax him to do that?
I'm just wondering if we should pick the dog up and hold it there and see what happens. Probably best we don't do that right now, though.
Probably best you don't. I mean, the dog probably doesn't just pee on command when you pick him up and hold him. That's usually they don't want to pee in that.
It doesn't pee on command.
That's funny.
Headset battery.
Andy made a funny in Twitch chat. Okay, you guys are gathered in the entranceway of the Church of the Sun. Is this the party that's ready to go outside into the city? Here we go. I've copied you all. I literally don't even know where we're going today, but here we go, out to the city. This map is big. It might take a moment to load, so give it a second. I'll ping you to the place after. This is also the map that
we get to mark on this map.
You can write on this map. You'll probably want to zoom way out on this map. I know on my machine I have to give this map a minute to load. And then give myself time to zoom out. Okay, there's a little tiny head rig.
Oh yeah, somehow he managed to up there. Let me go.
Well, you don't have to move. Don't move that head rig. I've got a copy paste of the current party right now. So
Gotcha.
basically, tokens that are on the map, I might. Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, it's all good.
I probably want to delete them or hide them if they're the random ones that are scattered about, so that I can use just the current copy. But I don't know. I haven't figured all that out yet. Like, there's a couple different sizes of tokens, so I think might have to resize them again when they come here. I don't know. Take a look here. Let's use this.
People's
Okay, cool. All right, now I can see what you guys can see. Let me see. I need to do a little work on my end on this map so I can know what you can see and what you can't. Let me fix my opacity. Opacity. That's a bit better. Okay, now let me super zoom out so I can see the city. Oh my god, this city's so big. Oh, this is the biggest city I've ever DM'd in D&D. Grabbing a book.
Lex, you might know this. Is there a splat book of any sort for like brothels and that thing?
There is a splat book for taverns. Yes, there's also
Or a guidebook on. In another campaign I'm in, we have a player who's always trying to pick up girls, and the DM doesn't quite know what to do. So is there like a set of rules for picking up dates and bars kind of thing? Splat book, Roll20 or D20?
No, but do you know what I would do? I would go to point the DM towards the Don John site. I'll put the link in later. It's got a random tavern generator, and it generates all the NPCs, their class, their level, their motivation, their alignment. So like he might end up trying to like pick up a lady necromancer or something, which could be hilarious.
Nice choice.
The DM should just invoke the all women are trouble rule. So like when you get a player that is into that and just wants to go picking up girls, just make them up to something. Make them a coven of something, or something creepy, and get you all in trouble. That's what I would do.
All right, you guys are in the city, so you're going to start tracking the trail of Chibaket, and I'm going to use, along the way, I'm going to use a little bit out of the Forgotten Realms city system here, so I don't even know what's going to happen. You'll be surprised, I'll be surprised. We're going to take some street scenes out of this city system, and if any of them are interesting, you can stop and interact with the people.
Okay,
if you
that's good.
choose not to interact, that's fine. You can move on. First, let's determine your direction. I'm hoping that part of today's game would be exploration, in which you clear up some of the fog of the war of the map and get a better sense of the overall city geography.
Let's follow the dog.
It comes to the dog, and there's a lot of kitty footprints in the immediate area, but after some sniffing around, the dog picks up a trail that leads to the east, past the front doors of the other temples.
I continue to follow it wherever it went. Kind of
Alright.
looking back, making sure that they're following me.
The trail would be one of those like in Family Circus, the comic in the newspaper, how they would do that little dotted line, that humorous dotted line that like loops around on itself. and like goes up on a park bench and then over and then down and then kind of under the bench and then like over to a gutter and then up a tree and then down a tree and then swings on a swing set and then keeps going. So the trail ultimately leads you sort of into the atrium or the anteroom, the opening room of the first temple next door, and then loops back out and into the next temple again, the third temple over, and then back out again and continues down the road. Ultimately, it seems to go to to the next intersection to the east. You guys go there, and you track it between the north, south, east, and west. And you properly find that the cat seems to have gone south here.
I give a bark towards the group and start heading south. Still following it as closely as I can.
All right, you go all the way down to the south on this road, at which point the road dead ends, or not dead ends, it T-bones at a cliff. And beyond the cliff, you can see a river flowing towards you. So the river is flowing towards you, and it hits up against that cliff and kind of banks off to the east there. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So as you look out, you see that you're on a river cliff, and the river like makes a turn right there at those cliffs. And so you turn east there, following the path of the kitty, and you're also now following the cliff towards some docks over at the east. As you go along this way, you start to see a lot of spotlights in the sky, and you see some like horse and carriages and some there's a D&D name for this that I can't think of. It's rickshaws, though, in real life. There's another word, a D&D-ish word for them, like people carrier or something. So some different fancy people seem to be getting dropped off at some location up ahead. Wow. You see that there's a brightly lit facility up here somehow, and the cat has wandered all through the gardens in front of it, where there's like a fountain, lights, a red carpet. It's a multi-story building.
Would keep following the trail, probably grab a drink out of the fountain and
Okay.
where it took me.
All right. The dog stops and has a drink by the fountain, where you are petted by some lady with like a felt cap with a feather coming out of her cat. She seems to be out there having a lunch break right now.
Growl at her, show my teeth, trying to scare her off.
All right. She scoots away from you on the she's kind of sitting on the edge of the fountain, and she scoots on around. All right. Anybody want to ask any questions here at this facility? Does everybody see it on map? I see Lex has it zoomed up great on the Twitch stream. So there's a special building here. It's at a special corner intersection, as you guys are getting a feel for the geography. Zooming both in and out is probably a good idea. Lex, I like the zoom in because it looks really good on map, but zoom out periodically to get the broader geography, sort of. So you're by a bend in the river.
Do I, having been in the city for a while, do I know what this building's for?
I don't know. There's so many buildings in the city. I don't know if you've been down to this corner. Even if you've been here for months, the city is so big that you might not have been down here. But you can read the signs. You're a local. You can tell what's going on. So this seems to be some sort of like Bardic college or Bardic performance facility.
So that lady might have been a bard. Is she still around? The one that Havarti growled at?
She scooted around to the opposite side of the fountain of where he was. She was thinking about offering him a piece of her sandwich, but she now is instead tossing little bits of it to the birds.
I'll go and take a seat next to her on the bench, and I'll say to her, "Hello there. I'm from the temple. I'm trying to find a missing cat. I don't suppose you've seen any strange-looking cats?" And smile at her.
She says, well, of course, there are many cats in the city. Nice to meet you. I am Tabitha the Bard, and I have seen many cats come through here. Some to my chagrin, for they sometimes hunt these little birds that I like to feed on my lunch break. And the problem is, you know, it's improper. It would be improper for me to meet any sort of to scare the cat away. So it's difficult to protect my favorite birds from them.
Oh yes. Yeah, I can understand that. That can be quite confusing.
Tell me more about this bird killer that you're seeking.
It's blue. It wears quite a unique collar. I'll describe the collar in that it's metal. It's of the face of the goddess Bast. In its left ear is a piercing, and on that piercing is a little bell. The cat would be wearing this at all times.
She says, does he carry a little flyer in his mouth?
He might have. I don't know.
She says, yeah, I saw a cat like that. He had a little flyer that he was carrying in his mouth. And I just noticed it because I was glad it wasn't a dead bird.
Ah. Do you happen to... How long ago was that?
That was yesterday. So the amount of hours ago that was it's probably, I'm going to say it's like noon right now on the next day. So I'm going to say that this was before sundown on the previous day. So more than 18 hours ago.
Okay.
All right. Any further questions for her?
So, which way did the cat go?
All right, good question. The cat is able to be tracked by Chris as continuing its path around the corner over here at the docks and going to the north. You did gain one piece of information there. You got told that the cat was carrying a flyer in its mouth. Let me see how to roll these street scenes here. Let's do a few of these along the way.
Where are you guys?
Oh, you want me to ping you?
Yeah.
Everybody's right around
Okay.
here. Okay. Harokote is a major city that is continually active and bustling. So I couldn't even possibly put all the tokens on the map for all of the giants and dwarfs and humans and Rakastas that are in bards and carriages and boats that are around. So there's a lot of architecture and roads on the map, but there's not a lot of people showing on the map, but they're there. So you have to imagine them. In fact, there's all manner and types of people of the aforementioned species going about their day-to-day business. And for adventurers like yourselves, beginning adventurers, who you run across on the street and what they're doing only sometimes matters and sometimes doesn't. So you can, any of these encounters that you hear about, you can skip or you can interact with. But further, there are hundreds more similar situations going on all around that we won't even take the time to describe today. But we're going to roll some to see if any of these are interesting or consequential. So let me see what I'm trying to see what type of roll to do here. So it's a very large list. Let us do a roll of a D120 plus 2. You can name one person to be your roller for right now.
Well, since Lex failed his pickpocketing attack, so let's let him roll it.
Lex really isn't turning out to be a very good thief at all.
No.
I'm
no.
level 1.
Gets caught in his conspiracy
No
craft.
excuse. You're supposed to be perfect all the time.
This is true.
She's actually done some several thiefy actions when you guys weren't even looking. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that, but yeah, the chalk outlines and stuff you've left around the town have made a mark.
So she's basically running around town, tagging up the place.
Jesse, why don't you roll it for me? I'll take a D 120 plus 2.
Rollerino.
Wow. That is a D 120. How did it roll a 6? That's awfully low for a D 120. Did that work right?
Yep.
How come it looks weird? Okay. Alright. I guess it just rolled a 6. Wow.
6, eh? That's nice and low. It's
so
probably like a greater demon.
That's very low. So you encounter an innocent bystander.
Yes,
Innocent.
my favorite.
All right.
Innocent and gullible, innocent and naive.
This is a male hill
Innocent and
giant.
virginal. Hill
This is
giant.
a male hill giant leaning up against a building casually.
He didn't say "Hey sailor" or anything when we approached him.
I mean, how did we miss this guy?
What does the guy look like?
He's about 13 feet tall. He's got kind of like a Neanderthal type face with a big forehead. He wears like a something similar to I think you'd call it like a burlap sack or a potato sack or something.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like a set of overalls that's got one shoulder. So one shoulder is not covered, but the other is.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes down like a little skirt thing. And he seems to have he's got a belt on. And he seems to have a bunch of straw with him. He's got a bunch of straw and reeds, like cat tails and such, that he's collected that are sticking out of his belt.
So he's a hillbilly hill giant.
Perhaps, yeah. Yeah, I guess in fact, I guess the hill giant is picking his teeth with a piece of straw.
Does he look like he has any kind of pouch or anything that he'd keep his valuables in?
Oh, of course.
Yep. On the other hip, where he doesn't have as many of the reeds sticking out of his belt, he's got a leather pouch there that would be, to you, it would probably be a small sack. To him, it's a pouch.
It's actually the scrotum of the last thief that tried to rob him.
So I'll walk over near where the guy is and just lean against the wall near where the dude is. Take out the parchment that I've always got on me and make out that I'm writing something. And I'll eye the little pouch and be like, I reckon I could probably, if I cut the pouch, maybe something good would fall out of it because it's a whole sack. So
that would probably be in the pickpocket category, I would think.
So I'll try and sneakily just it's my profession, god damn it. And I'll just sneakily try and cut the pouch and see what happens.
here's what we'll do. And this is part of how I want to be flexible and good with thieves. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard life being a first level thief, but what I'm saying is that the word pickpocket extends to more than just the act of putting your hand in someone's pocket and pulling the thing out. So
That's a whole different profession.
Your entire narration of your success or failure in this endeavor, regardless of what the method is. So your method is you want to cut it and have stuff fall out and be able to grab it before he notices and you get away. Whether you succeed or fail in that narrative rides on your pickpocket chance. So
okay.
I got a couple of questions here. The hill giant's 13 feet tall.
He's like 12 feet tall, I think. 12 feet, 12 and a half feet tall. Yeah.
How tall is Lex? Takesha.
She looks
Good
as though
question.
she's tall as a human.
So, human, female, like 5'6", 5'5".
Yeah.
Can she even reach his waistline with her arm lifted up?
I could get up there with an acrobatics roll.
Okay.
Yeah, as well, there could be a barrel there or such. I'm going to say even still, that same thing is still reflected in the pickpocket roll. So, for example, if
Alright,
she
I
does a
see.
successful pickpocket roll, I'm not going to say she couldn't reach. I'll say that she's climbed on a brick and reached.
Yeah,
If you
that's
fail-
no probs. I can narrate that if I do it, but I'm probably not going to.
Yeah, if you fail, then the reason you fail might be because you had to jump and you missed or whatever.
Yeah.
That'll all be rolled into whether I know it's just one D100 that's like the whole thing, the whole shebang on this, but roll your D100 and we'll see.
Nope.
Okay. It's tough because you have a less than a 42% chance when you're first level thief. You'll get points to put in when you level up as a
Yes.
thief. You'll get to choose where to distribute your emphasis. So in this case, you failed, and I'm going to check to see if he's. However, he dumbly doesn't even notice.
Cool.
However, you can't really do another attempt on the same person repeatedly, so you pretty much have to move on. Because there again, your roll that you failed, would cover even if you try again. You basically failed on this day for this mark, this target.
I'll look up to him and sort of call out, "Hey, have you seen a cat?" and describe the cat to him.
No cat, too small.
Yeah,
I
fair
find
enough.
cat tails. He says, "I find cat tails," and he pulls one out and shows it to you. It's a reed from the swamp.
Oh, yeah, nice.
All right. Any more questions for him, or anybody else talk to him?
I mean, I don't particularly like giants, so I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, no further reason. You guys advance on up the road, following your dog, who is tracing the trail of the kitty cat. And you start to see ahead that there is a bridge. When you get up to the north, you're going to see a bridge leading east. And Havarti tracks that the cat went over the bridge. So Havarti seems excited to go up on the bridge. Let's roll an encounter for on the bridge. Jesse, roll another one for me. Do a D120 plus 3. Okay, 65. All right. As you come across the bridge, there is a crier there who says, "Hear ye, hear ye." Hey Lex, what's the which one of the gods is the most so in Greek they've got Dionysus.
Mm-hmm.
Who do they have in Egyptian? That's like for like wine and
Bast.
parties. It's Bast.
Yeah.
It is Bast. Okay. And this is okay. Fantasy world. So I don't know how to do a Egyptian crier. So I guess I'm doing an old English crier that's telling you about an Egyptian event. So some cross-cultural fantasy here. Hear ye. Ye temple of Bast shall reconvene at noon in the castle quarter of the East City. Hear ye, come all who shall to the festival of Bast. near the outlet of Denial River.
So Takesha takes note of that. She's definitely going to attend that party. Bast parties are awesome.
What's it called when the other than delta? What's the other word for when a river lets into the sea? Is there a name for that?
Delta.
Delta. Okay, I thought there was maybe another word for it. I couldn't think of.
Sure. Estuary.
Estuary. Yeah, that would have been a good word for it. All right. I typed in some crier words into the chat, similar as I've narrated. You guys walk on past the town crier, and there's of course many other people coming and going on the bridge. From atop the bridge, you notice that there's a sprawling eastern city on the other side of the river, East Harokote. You guys haven't been over here yet, certainly not as a party. Most of you probably haven't been over here very much as individuals. So you notice that you're back into the section where it's populated by halflings, humans, Rakasta, dwarves. It's not the giant city anymore for the most part. Although surely the giant construction workers helped build some of the larger structures over here. Okay, Chris, how about here is a place where you can, what can I say? Because you now have clues that you could follow if you wanted to. I'm going to have you do a roll for your smell check here. So do a D20 perception check and a D8. Ooh, wow. Nailed the perception. Okay. All right. You first track the cat's scent going off into some buildings to the southeast. Like right here on the corner. Like into the alleyways, like off into the yellow, off the main street. You can imagine how there's streets there in between the buildings, even though it's too sort of densified compared to your token. Okay. You go off over in there. And you end up coming up to the back porch of someone's house, and you see that the cat paused there for a while. A local resident's house.
And do I sense the trail take off from there, or is this where it kind of ends?
As you're looking for the reconnection of the trail, you can imagine yourself sniffing around the yard, and you sniff this way and that way. A lady comes out of the house, and she offers you a bit of food. She says, good doggy, and she offers you a little piece of meat. She
It's
throws
me
it.
scarfing it down.
Okay, she throws it in a little in a little metal bowl that was outside, and you notice there's a little bowl of water there too. All right, you scarf down the meat, and the lady reaches down to pet you. She pets you moderately. Do you accept it?
Yeah, she was nice. He doesn't resist.
All right, so she gave you food, pets you moderately, and then she looks up at as Takesha enters in the dwarf. She says, "Oh, is this your dog?" He's a good boy.
Oh, he's kind of his own person. We're tracking a cat. In fact, a blue cat.
A blue cat.
Yes,
I had a blue cat. A blue cat was here this morning.
Oh, does it visit here regularly?
Yeah, it's. I think I've seen that one before. He's a sweet little one. It's something special about him.
Indeed so.
Now there is multiple blue cats in the city, but the one that I saw this morning had kind of a little earring and a collar, perhaps from the temple downtown.
Yes, you are correct. You have a keen eye. It's one of our temple cats. That's why I've been charged to recover it.
Oh, to recover it. Is he lost? Well, I gave him some food this morning.
That's okay. I'm sure the gods will take your offering of feeding him kindly.
Good luck in your quest to track him down. I'm sure he'll find his way home on his own. Soon enough. When he has a mind to. Okay.
As she has the door open and is talking to him, do I
Mhm.
notice if the scent goes inside the house at all, or
Okay. Very good, Chris. You do find the scent was invited into the house.
Oh no,
Okay.
you just ate cat meat.
It did not taste like cat.
I'll kind of look up at Takesha and kind of give him a little paw on the leg, letting him know that something's up.
I'll give you a nod, like go in the house, like look to the house and nod.
I run between her legs into her house and see if I can continue tracking it.
Okay, Chris, roll a D120 minus 3. Yeah, 120, 92. 92. Okay. All right. There's a male human in the house, and he's pretty burly, Chris. And as you come crashing through there, he kind of goes to steer you and calm you down, and he's like, whoa there, big boy. How'd you get in here? He's like, did mom let another animal into the house? He's like, Mom, we can't take care of another animal.
I'm kind of ignoring him, still just trying to pick up the scent and figure out
Okay.
where it might have gone.
All right. You find a place where it seems like the cat took a nap for a little while inside the house on like a windowsill. And then the cat scent actually goes out the window. Like it hopped out the window.
Alright, I'll swing back through the front door, trying to avoid the burly dude.
Okay. All right. The burly dude, just basically, he's trying to prevent you from. I didn't know how wild you were going in the house. Like if you were knocking over all their stuff. I mean, their house is sort of animal proof because they got other pets that live there. So, if as long as you're not going like wild and biting stuff and like eating his furniture, then he's not gonna do anything to restrain you. But
Yeah,
he goes, he
I
kind of
charge
holds
in
the
pretty
door open.
quick, but
He kind of holds the door open for you. He's like, "Come on, boy." And so, do you eventually cruise out of the house?
yeah, as soon as I notice the trail goes out of the house, I head back out the door towards Lex and
All right.
give
You
him
pick up the
a
cat's.
look of assurance.
You pick up the cat's trail again at the shrubbery outside the and it follows down along a branch and then back onto the ground and over to a gutter and into a ditch and through a creek and so on. Here in the neighborhood. And then back out onto the main street and continues off to the east again. So I freed up more map for you just now, so you can go back out of the yellow part onto the gray street and go east to the next intersection. We'll roll another city encounter at the next intersection. Let's see, we changed wards. Now we're in a different ward. Okay. This ward, Lex, you want to be the encounter roller this time? It's going to be a D120 plus 4.
Okay.
Chris, you follow the path, goes north from there.
81.
81. You guys are going to be going north from this intersection, probably. Whoa, why does 81 not have a result on it? I guess that means nothing. That's kind of bunk.
DM's choice.
All right, I'll just go to the next closest one that's labeled. Okay, you are passed by, let's see, if you pass this like out in more in the wilderness, you might call it a caravan, but in the city it's more like porters or bearers. So you pass some people, in today's world it would be a semi truck. So nothing, everybody that's against truckers on the road or whatever, nothing gets to you without truckers. That sticker. So anyway, a bunch of people go by you bearing cargo, which is a lot of it is carpets, linens, and carpets. So it's several people because they're carrying a whole shipment worth of it, I guess. Okay, Takesha nods at them. They are going. They're actually going crisscross you across this current intersection. They're going west while you're going north. So it's kind of like a train track thing. You kind of get stopped up at that intersection and have to wait until people carrying long carpets, a row of people carrying long carpets pass in front of you before you're able to go past. You still think that the kitty cat is going north, and then you notice it's veered off into the yellow, Chris, into the interior of this block.
Shall continue following it as long as he has the trail.
All right. I cleared up a path for you, and as you get into the middle of the city there, everybody go into the yellow city block. I've cleared up a path for you to get to where it goes. But in the midst of that, we'll take another roll. Chris, roll one for us. So D120 plus 3. As you come out to the far side, actually no, right where you guys are, this building, see how there's a little bit larger building there?
Yep.
There are 2 craftspeople there, and they're having a discussion with each other. They're having a very in-depth discussion about what is a spurrer? Does anyone know what a spurrer is?
Spur?
Someone who puts things on horses?
Oh, spurrier. Meaning put spurs on horses.
Is that what it is? What's a spur? Oh, is that what it is? They shod horses?
Well,
okay,
I have
that's
no
fine.
clue. I'm just guessing.
That's fine. We'll go with that. There's an in-city stable right here. So if someone who's doing that white text on map earlier wants to label a stable right there, that would be cool. Label a stable. You're a poet if you label a stable. So that's basically a stable, and there are 2 craftspersons there in an in-depth discussion about how to properly shod horse feet for the fastest and most secure running of the horses.
So wrong.
Any PC have a Q&A for the spurrer at the stable? I can't even see what it's labeled. I'm zoomed out so far. I have to go back and read those things later. Want to tell me? All right, you guys found the stable, and no one talks to the stable guy. You guys can keep following the dog's path. It's fine. It's a random city. It's not a random city. It's a planned out city, but there's so many encounters. I'm consulting the city system for some encounters along the street, and it is possible to roll monster encounters too. You guys just haven't as of yet.
What are the 2 talking about?
Which 2? Oh, the spurs? Yeah. They're specifically talking about how to shod horses' feet the best, like as if this might get a little meta. So if +1 weapons were like masterwork weapons and not necessarily magical, but just like really refined, well made. So they're talking about how to properly shod the horses, not to enchant them with magic.
Yeah.
But to masterwork the horseshoes in order to gain advantages in toughness, durability, how long it lasts, and also how fast the horse can go.
That makes
Carbon
sense.
fiber horseshoes, fast as fuck.
What, Chris?
I said carbon fiber horseshoes, fast
Carbon
as fuck.
fiber, right? That type of thing.
Okay,
Well said.
cool.
So you pick up on that, and you come out to the next major street again. You look east and west. You see that the river is off to the west. And the city beyond that, you see a tall bank in the downtown. In the downtown, in the skyscraper, in the giant city across the river, you see a tall bank. The cat you're tracking goes through another neighborhood. It winds its way. Follow the path, and then when you guys get to the end of this path, we'll roll one more city encounter before you. You guys are following the path. Yep. You don't even have to follow clues because you're still on the cat's path. You wander through a dense city of dense alleys with people hanging their laundry out to dry, and residents and kids coming and going from school for lunch hour. You approach the dock district again on the edges of Denial River, and you can smell the river as you come out to this intersection. And you also smell some fried foods and other things. Who here smells the most keenly? The dog and
The dog.
anyone else? Anyone else got a good sniffer besides Havarti?
I do.
All right, all of you smell food. All of you smell sort of like the somewhat polluted river coming through here, and this urban stretch of river here at the very base of it where all the pollutants wash down to eventually. So there is a kind of a smelly, junky river here. But there's also the smell of foods from the north. Let's take another random here. Let me see what would happen if we find a monster. Monster encounters, page 20. Right. Yeah, I see why they don't come up very often in the daytime, because most of these city monsters, they don't come out in the day. So it's very unlikely. So I will take a D120 plus 4. Lex,
Okay.
read off the result to me too, so I don't have to look.
81. I've had that before.
Yeah, we have had that before.
Should I reroll?
So one with nothing on it.
Yeah, it's nothing on another section too. So I guess there's just a little section in the middle of these that's like means nothing happens. Yep. Oh, I just looked on 3 of the charts and they all have nothing between 80 and 89. I don't know. I don't know if that's a glitch of this book or intent, or if that's the
Probably
sweet
intentional.
spot that's supposed to be like, oh, you found nothing. You found nothing. You found nothing. You found nothing. Okay, you found a town crier. Yeah, give me another one. I want to see at least one more thing happen or occur to enrich the city.
38.
Oh, you rolled 80. Is that it?
Yeah. But I think that's
80?
another nothing, isn't it?
80 actually has something.
Hey.
81 and 81 through 88 don't. 80 and 89 do. Anyway, we'll take the 80. Okay. A wagon loaded with goods is traveling along the road to the north here.
Take. What does it look like it's transporting?
It is transporting like Chinese lanterns and oils and spices.
Okay. I will.
And it also has some in today's world we would call them folding chairs. So he seems to have a bunch of furniture, like a bunch of IKEA style, or just the most neatly fit, most portable as possible, furniture, the most collapsible, compact together so that you can have a lot of chairs.
I'll nip behind this house, just like nip into the alleyway. Pull off my make sure I'm out of eye shot of everybody, so have a little look around. And then I'll pull off my my priestess garb, and under it I'll be wearing just my black leathers. I'll also drop my enchantment, so now I look like a kitten and not a human. And then I'll come out around the other side of the building and have a look at this cart. And then what I'll try and do is hop on the back.
Cool. Awesome. Let me think if any kind of checks are appropriate here. So the hopping on the back, I think you can do just as a move action. You're able to catch it. I'm not gonna it's not like a matter of a dex check or something like that.
Okay.
But what I'm more curious about is, like, are you trying to do this in a hidden way, which might take some kind of a sneak check?
Yeah. So ideally, I don't want to be seen doing it, so I will try and sneak on the back where possible.
And then your idea is to ride it on into wherever it's going.
To go through the stuff and see what's on it.
Oh, to go through the stuff while it's traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. I thought you were trying to Trojan horse into its destination. You hadn't even thought of that yet, huh?
I wanted to see what would happen. Like, if it went like a bit funny, I might have to ride it to its destination.
Do you know where the wagon is going? I'm asking Lex, the D&D player.
Nope.
Okay.
So I'm just on the make, so to speak.
You also notice that the carpet bearers, whom you crisscrossed with at an earlier intersection, are traveling more slowly than yourselves, and they're now coming up the road from the south. They're also heading in the same direction as the wagon guy.
Okay. So he's transporting like Is it like spices and incenses and stuff like that? What kind of stuff does he have?
So the big ticket item, or the large cargo space item, is basically folding chairs.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a lot of furniture. He's also got some delicately arranged paper lanterns, and then some oil that fits in a little thing in the base of the paper lanterns that gets lit. Okay, so the oil for that, and then like also some cooking oils and some spices, which have a number of uses in the current culture in the region that you're in, like other than like definitely cooking, but other than cooking, they're just considered like valuable for like sort of like aromatherapy type purposes and stuff.
Yeah.
Medicinal purposes. So all these different herbs and spices that would be considered gifts.
Is the cart like open top, like where is he like so obviously he's driving?
Yeah, it is, because it's open top because it's piled so high with these freaking chairs.
Awesome. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
Lashed in.
So I scoot down onto my belly and I start to crawl over the bits and bobs, through the things as I go from the back of the car. I'm shimmying my way up to where he's sitting, and I'm going to try and steal whatever's in his pocket or take his money from his pocket while he's driving, sort of coming up
All right.
behind him.
Sure, there's more than one person manning the wagon.
Cool.
There's going to be a couple of people sitting in there, probably someone sitting with the cargo and maybe 2 people sitting on the driver's station. So you'll have to elude all of them and then successfully pickpocket the driver to ultimately succeed in that. So you're going to need 1 sneak check, which you can use either one of yours. You've got hide and shadows or move silently. I mean, I think move silently is more appropriate, but I'll let you use whichever one's a higher percent of your 2 sneak checks, and then do a pickpocket. I think it would be cool to just, roll both of the D100s and see what the total package of success or fail is.
Skills equal in both of them, so it's bad as well. It's so bad.
It's equal in silently and shadows also?
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'll roll 2 of these and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Wow, Lex.
Yes.
Wow. That is some serious thieving.
Like a fox.
Okay. Let's continue with your narration. The narration's now, well within your control, then you actually succeed in what you're trying to do. So you somehow silently or undetectedly crawl through the lashed together wooden folding chairs, past the guy who's sort of sleeping on the cargo on the top, and up behind the 2 drivers, where you reach down and lift a gem of payment worth 100 gold pieces out of the front shirt pocket of the driver.
Awesome. So she slips that into her pocket. She grins, and she makes her way to the back of the cart. These guys have no idea. They're obviously tired from where they've been, or it's been a long day. And she backflips off the cart and lands in like a perfect pose, and does a little bow, seemingly to herself, like with a grin on her face. She kind of like eyes the gem and then slips it in her pocket.
Awesome. So just as you do that, you land on one side of the wagon or the other, and you stand there neatly and do your little curtsy. And as the wagon continues on past, as you sort of look through the, like when a train's passing and you can see in between the cars.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see who's on the other side of the tracks briefly as the train's passing. So you see some sort of like constable or guard is on the other side of the road.
Oh.
The wagon continues passing, and as it does, the constable briefly looks in your direction and then looks off in another direction and whistles and continues his way on down the road.
She grins and looking at this constable, and then makes her way back round to the side of the house where she stashed her priest outfit.
Cool. Success. The smell of food attracts you from the north, as well as the track of the cat. Lex, you restore your gear. Havarti?
Sorry, did you say north?
Yes, the track of the cat and the scent of foods goes to the north, as well as the now robbed wagoneer and the carpet bearers. All right. You start to go north, and you see sort of a castle looming ahead to the north. All right. You are approaching the base of a castle that you can see looming to the north, but don't go in the castle yet. There's going to be a little more to it than that first. As you get to the castle, you notice that there's some sort of festivities taking place at the castle, and a lot of people are going in, and some people are going in a side gate, like making deliveries or something. And guests seem to be going in the front, and there's like flags and festivities waving from the off the top of the castle. They're hanging like flyers and banners and stuff, like draperies, colorful draperies, displaying Egyptian symbolism of cats. And there are quite a few cats roaming around the property. The guests that are arriving, though, are of the bipedal sort, which does include Rakasta, dwarf, human, primarily. Havarti, you track the smell of Chibakit as going around the castle, around the base of the castle, like around the right-hand side of it.
And we'll proceed to follow it.
Okay. You follow it around the castle. Chris, roll a d20 and a d8 for me. It's a kind of a dog perception check and a lost check. Okay. You see that the cat seemed to climb in a window of the castle, but then you pick up the scent again that it came right out a nearby window. So you continue following it around the edge of the building. Okay, go back to here. There is a wall to the city there, wall or fence there. The cat seems to have climbed over it and gone out to the grass and the woods behind the castle here.
Is there any like portcullis or like any
Okay. Yes,
exit through the wall?
You see the cat did not use the official exit, but the castle itself has some of the guests that you saw going in the front are milling about in the back, and there seems to be a sort of a backyard party taking place there. And there's an open gate leading out into the woods.
Keep looking
You would
back
be
at
sort
the
of
others
like
signaling this
okay.
way.
If you sort of you see a place where you could sort of walk like backstage, like behind a row of shrubbery and not really enter the party and get up to the gate and slip out. You would be within the gate, within the bounds of the party, but not mingling with the people. Alternately, you could move directly through the party, which has people, drinking lightly spritzered potions, and having a nice little morning out here. They're
Lightly
having
spritzered potions.
Yeah. And many of them are petting cats.
Fucking hipsters.
Some of them have purse cats, like handbag cats. Like they're carrying a cat with them.
Oh God.
Best party.
Yeah, Havarti would go around the outskirts. He's not going to walk through the crowd of people.
Okay, so okay, so the three choices are scale the fence, go backstage behind the shrubbery, or go through the party, and you choose the shrubbery method.
Yeah, shrubbery to the portcullis. Dogs don't really climb walls very well.
Okay, yep, good point. I want a d6 from every person that's sneaking along through the shrubbery here. So I should be seeing like 4 players roll a d6. Okay. Okay. One more, and then I'll say what happened. I need a d6 from Lex. There it is. Oh, okay. Takesha and Adrian, someone in the party calls out to you. Someone waves to Takesha and says, let's see, are you wearing your temple garb again? Or yeah. All right, let's see. Are you known at the temple as a what is the, I know how the priestess looks at you and stuff, but what about like the public, like people that come in there?
If they're regulars to the temple, they would have seen me doing basic jobs like carrying water, mopping the floor,
that's what I thought.
That kind of thing.
Right.
Like a novice, basically, yeah.
Right. So one of the guests is like, let's see, I don't know what a term for you would be. Acolyte.
Yeah.
Oh, acolyte. Could you mop up over here? We've had a little bit of a spill.
And
then simultaneously another person in the party says this is some guy, and he says, "Oh, how enchanting. A Greek philosopher has come to the party. Sir, come over here and enlighten us with your ideas from your continent and culture. He says that to Adrian.
I'd be delighted to, but I have to find a blue cat first.
Well, you've come to the right place then. The Festival of Bast shall surely attract many a blue cat. If there's any blue cats in the city, I could almost assure that there would be a representative of them here today. Do you have cats in the Greek homeland, or is that purely a thing of our Egyptian subcontinent?
We have cats, yes.
I have so wanted to travel there someday and learn more of the great knowledge of your people and libraries. What brings you to this part of the world? For of course there are people of all cultures here in this city, and they are very welcome.
I've come to study your enchantments and learn what you have to share.
How enchanting. Perhaps you could show me one of your enchantment tricks.
Perhaps sometime I could.
That would be such a neat party trick. What time could be better than just now?
Again, unfortunately, I have to find this blue cat first.
I see. Well, when you find the blue cat, then surely the festival can really get started.
Exactly.
I haven't seen a blue cat yet today, but I have a feeling this party might attract some. All right, Takesha, what about you and the mop? Let's see. She mops up the spill with a smile. All right, you're able to cleverly track down the place where people who are actually working here have a mop closet, and you grab the mop and mop up the spill, and they essentially view you with some respect, but I don't want to say reverence, probably more overlook you due to being, of a servant level. But due to being from the Temple of the Sun, you seem like surely someone who works for the caterer or something.
I'll keep my eye on this party and see if anything is out of place, anything odd. Just keep my eye on what's going on.
All right. You see that one of the guests is an unusual race that you haven't seen yet in the city.
Ooh. What do they look like?
They look like sort of like a Rakasta, but different. And they're not bipedal. They're down on all fours. They look like more like a centaur. It looks more like some kind of a cat with a person's head and body and holding a scepter.
Okay. I'll walk over to this person and I'll greet them. I'll speak in common. Hello there. Welcome to the party of to Bast, the goddess of enjoyment, fun, and mischief. I haven't seen you before. My name's Takesha. A pleasure. You would be.
I am Ambassador Leinold.
Oh, an ambassador. That sounds like a great responsibility. Where do you hail from?
I hail from a very dry place out on the savannah in the central part of this continent. Off to the western part of this continent, I should say. It is a very beautiful area, but it has been increasingly encroached upon by the dryness and the sands and the drought.
I've heard gossip around the town that the deserts appear to be moving, which is worrying. But we live in a nice big city. I'm sure it'll be fine. And she just kind of smiles at him.
Many city dwellers think that, but in my time in the savannah, I am sure that this blight will come here eventually too. For you can climb to a high level of this castle and look out at the expanse of grass and forest just beyond the boundaries of the city, and as I look there, I can see it drying up as my grasslands have started to do. I've come to the city to seek support and knowledge, and what else? What subsidies or something? Some kind of a help for my people and my land. And I've come here to this festival of Bast in hopes of getting attention of the cat goddess.
I would suggest then, if I wanted to get the attention of important people, because this is a theocracy, obviously, I would definitely come on into the Temple of the Sun. Temple of the Moon's fine. Temple of Set's a bit creepy. But I would definitely go to the Temple of the Sun. There you'll find a priestess called Nefair. If you mention my name to her, I'm Takesha, I'm sure she'll speak to you. She usually has the Pharaoh's ear. The Pharaoh is obviously one of the gods incarnate. We all know that. Praise be to him. But being that she runs the temple, she has quite a lot of sway. I think if you want to speak to someone important about this, and it does sound important, I would do that if I was you. Here, let me draw you a quick map. And she scribbles down a little map of the direction of here to get to the temple on it. And on the bottom it says, please see Nefair. Mention me, your helpful priestess, Takesha.
He gratefully accepts and says, I see I have encountered a blessing of Bast on this day. My day has been worthwhile after all. I am pleased to meet you, Takesha. I am Ambassador Lionel, and I shall seek out this priestess that you say. I have thus far only entered the outer parts of the city. I have been, I must admit, a bit intimidated to go into the skyscrapers in the middle of the city. Is that where you say this great temple is?
Oh yes, yeah, that's the giant district. They're big people. They're used to our smaller people. You won't be stepped on. Don't worry about that too much. There are a few areas I would probably avoid. She's a fairly religious person, and she decides that as it's a gathering for Bast, she should probably be nice to this person. So she notes on the map places to avoid, so that the traps where tourists usually get mugged and places like that. She's like, keep to the main roads.
Nice.
And I'll note that on the map for him and say, I'm sure
Nice.
I'll be back at the temple probably later today or tomorrow. Come visit me. I'll show you the fun places.
So you hand draw a map for him?
Yeah.
Wow. I have to say that makes me extremely curious how you would hand draw a map if you were even trying to draw one of this city. I really wonder what your impressions as Takesha and your impressions as Lex. I'm really curious, like how much of the city you even know. I mean, I know that your character probably knows more than you as a player know, because your character spent more than many months or a lifetime, perhaps, basically wandering around here.
I mean, it wouldn't be like cartographer level or anything like that. It would have basics
no,
like
not at all.
it would say like go south down the Pharaoh's Footstep Road and then take a left over the dock bridge, and it would have like directions like that.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that makes sense.
Ship.
No, it says avoid that.
That's on the avoid area. Okay, so you put the dock area down by the cliffs on the avoid area, and you steer them directly to the center of the town. All right. I think I want to say the race. I don't have a picture of the person of Lionel, but they're supposed to be a Weemic. So
I like Weemic.
If you guys ever run across a Weemic in AD&D, you've just met a Weemic, so you now know that they exist and that they have a homeland on this continent.
They related to Weeaboos?
I don't know. Weemic is like a lion centaur, so he had like the feet of a lion and the tail of a lion and stuff. I didn't want to say that in the description because it was your first time to encounter them, but that is what it would look like for your visualization. Ambassador Lionel. Okay, I need to make a note of him. Lex, maybe you should add him into your list.
Yep.
Just so we keep track of the name at least. Gosh, I hopefully I can remember all these people that you met, but the city's so big that when you meet a person once, you may never come across them again, or they might be important. So you're in the backyard party of, or near there, and you guys are sneaking along the shrubbery. The other three of you were not spotted. Only Takesha and Adrian were spotted and engaged with people at the party. The others of you slipped out the back gate into the grassy area and near these yellow drying trees. You're on this yellowed grass. Near is the intersection of the ocean and the river. So the river meets the ocean not far from here, and you can probably hear the sounds of that and smell the smells of that. Havarti tracks that the cat had spent quite a bit of time pacing around this tree line back here.
And I look around to see if I notice anything as well.
Okay.
Something that may have drawn the cat's attention.
Okay. You see the signs of some kind of a fight. You see like claw scratches. You can tell that the cat had its claws out. And trying to decide if I'm going to choose off this list or roll off this list. Let me find what makes the most sense here. Oh yeah, this is perfect. Okay, let me open my monster manual. I'm doing this. Be awesome if I had this prepared before. Okay, so let's see. Any other RP or interaction or prep you guys do all at the party while I'm preparing for what happens in the woods back here?
I'll just mill about enjoying the party. I'll eat and drink and try all these weird potions.
Oh, when you say the party, you're talking about the Festival of Bast, not your party of adventurers. Your party of adventurers has left the backyard and went off to the tree line beyond the city. Do you stay in the party? And what about Adrian?
I'll probably slowly back out and head up to the other folks.
I'm going to chill at the party and schmooze.
Oh, there's an icon. Okay, I'm bringing an icon over. So, okay, you're schmoozing at the party. Okay.
Yeah.
The Bast party, the festival. Let's call it the festival.
Getting battered at the Bast party.
So do you end up making entry to the castle while you're there?
Yeah, I'll mill around and as I'm talking to people, making small talk and talking about the temple and enjoying the drinks, I'll be working my way to try and get into this castle to see what's going on.
All right. Very good. Let's see, but you don't have the power of sniffing out the cat's location. So you start exploring throughout the castle, and you remember how you were doing at the inn, how you were separate from the party and you were going room to room on your own?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can kind of do like that and control this a bit yourself if you want to. I don't know, are you searching for... The castle's full of people here who are here for the festival, people who live here, special invited guests, and then more random people also. And then, of course, you know, there are public wings areas of the house, like the kitchen and the bathroom and stuff you're free to mill around in, and the sort of the living room. And then there's like sort of closed off stairwells that lead to private quarters.
Okay. Well, what she'll do is she'll take the mop with her, and she's going to make out that she's doing like basic stuff, because these guys at the party, they seem kind of like a bit hipsterish, a bit kind of used to having servants about the place. So she'll act like she's just helping service the party, and as she does so, she'll work her way through the castle, just kind of like peeking indoors, looking for anything odd and out of place.
Yep. Well, you find that quite a few cats probably are in residence. Let's see, what else would you find that's out of place? Wish I had a random generator for that right now. Meanwhile, I'm also working on something that's happening out in the woods back there. So basically, you find a lot of castle-y stuff. Are you trying to loot them, or okay, you're looking for out-of-place things?
Yeah, anything that would be out of place for like a place that's hosting a party to Bast.
Okay. On the contrary, I'll say maybe you can help me in describing some more of the features that would be present in a party that is dedicated to Bast. So things seem orderly as far as that is concerned. The residents seem reverent, like they are honestly revering the cat god, and that they take good care of cats here at this castle, and they are friends of Rakastas and Weemix.
Awesome, cool.
And I'm making progress on some monsters in the background, so there will be a battle or some kind of encounter today in the woods also.
Well, seeing as I haven't really noticed that there's any sort of really creepy stuff going on in this place, I'll make my way back out, and I'll kind of see if I can find the rest of them, wherever it is they went off to. I'll have a little search for them.
Cool. Probably a good idea. I probably could have DM'd more of what was going on in that castle if I wasn't trying to think of two things at once. I'm trying to set up for the, it's in my time zone, it's 5 here, and we usually play till 6 or 6:30. So we got like an hour and a half left, and something occurs out here in the woods. So Chris has ran across signs that the cat got into some kind of a fight back here. He finds some, like, the cat's victim. The cat seems to have fought against somebody and came up with some blood and some fur, but you haven't found the actual cat yet. You just found a sign that the cat was in a fight. So best you can tell, possibly the cat was defeated and eaten, or possibly the cat may have chased some kind of a adversary off into the woods.
And you said I found some blood. Can I try and pick up that scent too?
Yes, you can. Very good. You automatically pick up the scent of the blood, and it smells to you sort of like a rat. You've smelled this smell before in the alleys of the city.
All right. And do I still sense the trail of the cat, or is that disappeared?
It's intermingled. They overlap. Like, possibly the cat was either being chased or gave chase.
I'd kind of bark at the others around where the blood is to see if I can get them to look at it, and then I'll head towards wherever the scent is.
Okay.
All right. Let me see how I'm going to take a look at the stream and the zoom levels and stuff. Okay. I think there's enough room that you guys can position yourselves on the trees. It's going to look like you're in the. I mean, it's not going to look like you're in the trees. It's going to look like you're on the trees. But the encounter will take place here in the trees. So you can take any position between the tree line and the other tree line.
And as I'm in pursuit, seeing as how there was some sort of struggle, and I'm probably more alert as far as that's concerned, as far as something that might try and attack us.
Okay, you're on extra.
I'm on lookout.
You're on extra alert, which prevents surprise. I wish I had that cat token here. Give me a second to get, or well, I'll get that in a second. Okay, so basically right now, this is a little meta. It might not always be this meta, but in this case, you're aware that a combat is going to transpire or something like that. So I'm giving you all the opportunity to like kind of marching order or position. So if you're happy where you are, awesome. But in a couple seconds, I'm going to lock it down and roll an initiative and have somebody pop out on you. So you guys arrange yourselves how you want. You hear the sounds of, let's see. You hear occasional shrieks of the cat, like the cat In reality, what's happening is the cat's able to pop out and surprise a certain predator and scratch them up, and then the cat keeps using its special powers to kind of like pop back up into a tree and levitate and get out of the way, making it a little more difficult to track for the enemies. But so you can tell that somewhere in these woods, there's a fight going on between a cat and some kind of enemies who are swinging weapons. And you hear the sound of a swinging sword and a whipping whip and a crossbow being fired. And you hear those sounds from different directions in the woods, as if, you're out in the woods for a nice hike and you hear 3 different hunters hunting from different places in the woods. So 3 different directions you hear occasional attacks. So it's like the cat is hunting several targets and they're all like shooting back at it.
Okay.
Or a cat, I should say. A cat.
And they're
Don't
in
know if it's
slightly
the
different
cat.
directions.
Yeah, exactly. They're in slightly different directions in these woods. The woods are too dense for you to make out your opponent or who the hunters are yet, but you can see flashes of motion in different directions around the party, as if like sort of surrounding the party's current position.
Okay.
Sort of throughout those woods there.
I guess I'll drop into a run and just run towards one of the sounds.
Okay. Where'd I put that freaking cat token? Okay, there it is. All right. Let me come back to the map and I'll see which one you run towards. Probably like the one towards the most. Where are you positioned? It looks like you're kind of positioned in the center of the party. Do you want to run towards one that's west, north, or east of the party's current position?
I'll go to the west.
Okay. As you get over there to the west, you have an encounter. Oops, I see the token's going to be way too big. Hold on, let me small them down. What about the other guys? Go ahead and tell me positionally. Like if you hear sounds to the sort of 3 encounter areas, like to the north, and they're all just right around the party, but to the north of the party, that would be, I'm so zoomed out, it's hard for me to even see the tokens. But north, east, and west, which way do you guys face? Hedrig and Adrian, I'm primarily asking you guys. They don't say. Okay.
It's a rat.
You guys found the nasty.
All right. Is everybody satisfied with your position? You're set?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to put the other rats on the map, even if you don't necessarily see them yet, because they're going to try and engage you guys kind of individually from different sides, or you'll encounter them separately. You're all nearby each other in the woods within shouting range, but as you go through the dense trees, you're kind of just a slight ways away from one another. Okay, now I can zoom in. Finally, I got all the tokens there. And then I can initiative us. That's up to you guys if you want to have an initiative, though. Basically, what you notice is, I don't know if you guys have a handle on the scenario. There is a cat out in these woods, and it seems to be harassing someone else that's out in these woods. As you come into a opening between the trees, Takesha, you see a giant rat who stands up on his hind legs and has a couple of weapons in his hand.
Okay.
What weapons does the one you're on have? I'm too zoomed out still.
It looks like he's wearing a red
slowly.
tunic, and it looks like a short sword or something. Some kind of bladed weapon.
Wow, I can't do any rolls or anything in Roll20. It's kind of semi-locked up for me right now. Great. Just when I want to roll the initiative.
Your browser's cache might be full. You might need to rejoin.
Yeah, you guys, most of you have literally not said a word since I talked about the were rats or anything. So, not reacting. Hadrig, Adrian, and Havarti seem to be maybe sleeping in the woods. I'm not sure.
I'm
No,
ready
just
for
waiting for you
initiative.
to set stuff up.
Well, I'll initiative it, but I mean, help me out while my browser's locked up, like so that everybody doesn't just drift away to a different website or something. Like maybe talk about your strategy or what you're getting ready to do.
Well, I
or-
figure this rat that's in front of me, I'll because I've ran over to it, it's going to be really obvious that I'm coming. I'll just shout to the rat in common. Just say, "This is temple business. I demand you stand down," and just charge at him. I'm just going to go full in and see what he does.
I'll back her up in that.
I know what I'm gonna do.
That's right, Solid. You can take one of those naked rats.
Naked mole rat.
Rats.
Naked
Ooh,
mole
initiative.
rat. It's a naked mole rat. So I'm first. I guess the first thing I will do, most logical thing, since everyone is still somewhat together, is cast Bless on everybody.
Woohoo!
Okay. One rat has a surprise, unless it's against Havarti or right by him. So let me figure that out. Actually, the dwarf gets jumped down on by a rat before you get to go. As I've rolled his initiative also.
Rats.
You're a dwarf. This can't be your first rat encounter.
Okay.
They're like the rats of the underworld themselves.
Okay, there. I've got the initiative set up now. I've got the tokens mostly set up. Got them about size. They're still too big, guys. Sorry about that. I need to
okay,
small them
no
down
problem.
even more. Yeah, they look ridiculous, but I'm gonna shrink them a little bit more, and then I'll be ready.
Sorry for the copyright infringement.
Skaven. I love Skaven. Poison Wind Globadiers.
All right, there. I've got him positioned much better now. So this guy, he appears suddenly and gets a surprise on you, Hadrig. And he's gonna swing. He gets to swing his sword against you twice.
Rats with swords.
Wow. His first roll is a natural 20, and his second roll is an 18 that modifies up to above a 20.
Both hit.
So they both hit. Let me check out what happens
That
to
nat 20
you.
though. Ouch.
To you. Wow, I
See you,
should have.
Dwarfman.
We used to.
Yeah, you guys should have run away from these guys. Okay.
Never.
I hope you have some clever tactics up your sleeves because these guys might be hard, especially now that they got your dwarf heavily. Let me see.
We'll be fine. We
Okay,
can take it.
roll D100 twice. Solid. Okay, you did well on your D100s, and you took 5 points of damage. So a rat man stands up with a short sword and surprises you. You didn't notice him there in the brush. A gray rat man stands up all of a sudden, surprises you, and stabs you. And it doesn't. It can talk a weird kind of common. I don't know how rats talk exactly. He's kind of like, gives me your money, dwarf. Gives me your money, dwarf.
I won't take that if I was you, mate.
Okay. Hey, Drig, it's your turn.
Let me see.
Guys, sorry it took me a minute to get the tokens and stuff. Like when I have to focus on the technical stuff, it's hard to think about how to narrate the game smoothly
It's
at the
alright.
same time.
Sounds good.
And Roll20 was kind of not reacting all that quickly to my clicks.
I'll back up closer to the group, cast Bless, like I was going to. So
Everybody's on a +1 to hit, not to saves, because Bless doesn't give you a +1 on saves. Bleh. I think that's what it is. I think Chant and Prayer are better and give you +1 on hit and saves, but the Bless gives
Yeah.
you only +1 on hit. Now, since it's early in the game, I'll narrate this later. I'll only mention it, or I won't mention it. But since most of you are going to have hit attack macros that are pre-programmed and stuff, you're not really worrying about putting the extra +1 onto your macro. It's just more like this. If you roll your regular macro and you missed by 1, if I say, whoa, really close, you missed by 1, then you can say like, oh, but I'm blessed, so it turns out
Yeah.
it's a hit after all.
Okay, cool.
That's the easiest way I found to do it. Hadrig retreats from the were-rat that attacked him. I probably shouldn't be calling them were-rats, but I couldn't think of another word. The bipedal rat man, the naked rat in the naked rat woods. Hadrig backs away after being injured by him and casts a bless upon the party.
Oh. Okay, I will charge this rat down. Let's see how he likes a priest to the face.
You see him there to the northwest of you, and you charge through the trees, dodging this way and that with your weapon to get in actual melee range of him, and you attack him with your...
That's a miss.
Darn. What is your weapon?
It's hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, hand-to-hand combat. That is so cool. So you come up out of the woods and chop, chop, chop on the rat. You notice that he is carrying a short sword and has a red tunic on. It is his turn, and he responds to your attack.
Bring it, rat boy.
$11. Unless you have a really bad AC, that's a miss.
No,
Ooh,
that's
you
a
have
miss.
a 12, but he's missed. Yeah, he's missed you. Okay. So the rat guy swings at Lex's character with the short sword, and now it's our Toga Enchanter's turn. Adrian, finally a round of combat for Jesse. What a long road it's been to get here, but what
Gonna
will you...
cast armor.
Yeah, smart. You know, you could have casted that earlier and had this round to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it lasts like 12 hours, or how long does it last? Until it goes away, or a length of time unless it goes away? I think it lasts
special.
Okay, check that out. I think it's until it takes so much damage. So I think you're gonna...
It lasts until successfully dispelled or until the wearer sustains cumulative damage totaling greater than 8 points plus 1 level of the caster. Plus 1 per level of the caster.
It's like a blade of armor.
So it'll last indefinitely until I take 9 points of damage.
All right. I have high designs on using the green circle for something else dealing with leadership, but right now I'm not using it. So I guess I'm going to say you can put the 9 points on the green circle of your token. So put that on there. Like click yep. And then now each time you take damage, you have to take it off of the armor and off of yourself. Okay. You still take damage when you have the armor. So you'll have to take it off your green circle and your blue circle. It seems like you'll actually die before your armor will.
You're assuming I'm going to take damage.
If you get hit, yeah. The armor helps you not get hit. So what's your AC while you've got the armor on? Is it it was 10, now 6. It's 15? Okay, so 14. That's 14. 6 is 14. So your current AC is going to be 14. So let's go ahead and change that on your token. Change the red circle to say A14. Okay, you cast your armor spell on yourself. Are you thinking ahead to get ready for next turn then? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to stay here.
I almost want to let you go again right now because you could have casted that armor like an hour ago and it'd be the same. You could have casted it while you're walking up the road. Okay. How about this? Yep, no problem. No problem. Let's just go with that. You cast armor in combat, seeing the threat of combat and being a toga man, you sheath a magical armor around yourself. A magical invisible armor just clanks into place on Jesse. It's as if he's armored, but he can still move freely as a mage. A were-rat in the woods who I think has a crossbow. Yeah, he does have a crossbow. Is he going to shoot a crossbow at a dog? He's going to shoot his crossbow at the cat. A crossbow bolt goes singing through the woods. You hear the cat. You don't know if it was hit or
kill the cat.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Rat.
The cat dodged the crossbow bolt in the cover of the woods, bringing it to Havarti's turn. So Havarti, very near you, you hear and smell a rat man and the cat that you're searching for.
I am going to kind of shake and turn and growl, and as I do, I start to grow a bit to where I'm about 4 foot tall and 6 feet long. So I basically
Holy crap.
become a bit larger than I was before, and I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't want to say what I was going to say.
I'll go ahead and bound towards the rat and pounce on it, mauling it with my paws and attempting to bite at it.
Adrian and Hadrig, you guys are close enough to the clearing that Havarti is in that as you're looking through the woods, scanning for the enemies that are closing in on you, you look over and you see the dog kind of and he gets quite a bit bigger.
I ate a mushroom.
And then, nice macro, dude. Let me check this out. Paw to hit for 14. Okay, so you get a claw bite. So you got a 14, a 17, and an 8. The 8's obviously a miss. Let me check the 14 and the 17. So you're doing claw bite on the were-rat, right?
Yep, and it's not like slashing with my claws. It's more the weight of myself being so large and my paws being so big. It's like hitting them with a maul or a bowling pin.
So it's a hit miss.
So 9 total.
9, thank you. That's exactly what I needed to know. All right. Let's see. So it's kind of it's not a clawing, like cutting his skin. It's more of like a painful pushing, like a bludgeon in his chest. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like a dog's excited and it jumps on you and it smacks you with its paws. Except my paws are huge now.
Okay. I want to describe something, but it's not their turn to describe it yet. But I think I'm going to go ahead and describe it now for your visual. So after you knock the were-rat back, and you see sort of like the indentation of your paw prints briefly in his chest, and then you notice him kind of like he flexes his right pec and he flexes his left pec, and the part of the damage pops back out. So he kind of like resists part of your damage. They're like pushing him. But you did hurt him.
Rats.
You did hurt him, but not as much as you would hurt him if you had silver claws.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it would be nice if King Ku was here too. That would be great. More attackers. Okay, it's a new round, and this were-rat is gonna either go, or should I re-roll and resort the initiative? I like to resort the initiative at this point. Resort. Hadrig is the fastest.
Oh, jeez.
Your dwarf, smash it!
Distances are supposed to be accurate, but could be a little changed if needed.
Yeah, I think
They're not perfect.
I think I'm gonna move away farther, about half move, and then try to smack this rat because we're going to gang up. We need to gang up on everybody one at a time.
Finally, some good D&D strategy. Thank you, Solid.
So that's a total miss.
All right. Well, it was still the best. It was still the right play. So that was smart. You got to miss that round, but you set things up for better odds next round by blessing everyone and then ganging up on one of the rats, so you're not all spread out.
That was a 7.
Adrian's, yeah, it would be a 7 with the bless. Still a miss. Anything under a 10 is always a miss, unless there's some weird bonuses you don't know about. Adrian's turn.
I'm going to follow the dwarf and then cast sleep on the were-rats over there.
Awesome. Which I think you're not going to be able to get multiple were-rats in your area of effect, so you're going to aim on this one guy.
That one were-rat there.
When there's only one victim or only one target of sleep, don't they get like a, let's see, like a some sort of, is there a save for sleep at all?
Let's see here.
Why have I forgotten that? I know this, but
Number
I think
of
they get a
creatures is a
saving
function
throw?
of hit dice. No, saving throw is none.
None. Okay. And
The
so
spell
then they're
affects 2d4 hit dice of monsters.
right. Okay. Roll your 2d4. You have to get a certain number on this to for your sleep spell to work because this guy's not first level. Okay, you got enough to put him to sleep. So he curls up in a little rat ball on the ground and kind of puts his short sword down, and he sort of tucks his tail around to the right side of him, and he sort of puts his little sword arm down on the ground, and he nuzzles his nose into it, and he's kind of nuzzles his rat whiskers into the dirt on the forest floor, and he starts sleeping.
All right, guys, if we leave him alone, he'll sleep for 5 rounds. We should probably go kill the other 2.
This rat says I learned dwarven tactics. Gang up on one of the enemies. And he takes his movement rate and appears in the gap between trees that has Havarti in it. So you're now surrounded by 2 were-rats, Havarti.
All right.
Takesha's turn.
Okay, she'll bound over to help her friend and attempt to strike this rat.
That is going to take your full movement rate, my friend. I know things look small on the map, but that's a full movement rate.
Okay.
Boing, boing, boing.
Actually, is the cat
this map is
on
very,
the ground?
very. Oh, the cat is in a tree nearby.
I am going to go.
I don't know if you see the cat, but yeah, you might. You could probably track it down. That's fine. You probably have to make some kind of perception or something. The dog is able to knows right where it is by scent, but
No,
it's there. I mean, I can't. Actually, you know what? I'm going to teach you guys something cool. Check this out, Solid. I think you'll like this, Solid. And Takesha too. When you're doing the ruler tool, I've got it on as tight of a gradient as I am willing to do, but that means, I mean, you kind of can't measure things that are less than like 25 feet. But if you hold down the Option key and then do the ruler tool, it will smoothly measure. Check that out. So with that said, scale is really difficult when you're trying to do a huge city in tokens. Like you have to make the tokens really tiny, and otherwise the map gets insanely huge. But you know, and plus this is a perspective map, which means, you know, measuring up and down is kind of supposed to be height, and side to side is anyway. So it's obviously not perfect, but I tried to do it as good as I could to where basically we're saying, okay, this tree is 75 feet tall or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's, you know, 26 feet wide.
Yeah. Well, I rolled 19 on my perception, so I don't really know where the cat is. So what I'll do is I will hop on the sleeping form of this rat, and I notice he's wearing a belt, so I'm going to slip his belt off, and I'm going to tie his hands together, and then I'll
Cool.
take the sash of my robe and tie his feet together and hog tie him,
Smart.
and like kick his short
Do
sword
you
away.
have any applicable non-weapon proficiencies, which would be rope use or knot making?
I don't.
Or I
think
don't know if there might be other ones. I don't know.
Fast
Handcuffs, BDSM, restraints.
No, I've got disarm, but that doesn't really count. No, I've just got standard.
All right.
Tying crap knots.
Do a let's see if your knot works then with a D20 plus 4 against your intelligence. See if you know if
Yep.
you happen to know if yep. You knew of a knot that you were able to successfully tie the were-rat guy with his own belt. Very good. Havarti's turn.
Alright. Once again, I'll kind of turn back around a couple of steps and get a little momentum and charge at him again.
Oh, with that, I overlooked that knockdown thing last time. Let me keep an eye on that too. I see what you rolled on that, but I don't know what your percent chance of succeeding at it is. Do you?
There's nothing listed. It just said there's a chance for it. So
Okay,
I leave it up to you. You know whether
I get that. It
someone
varies.
that's easy to knock down or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's going to vary by the size and stability of the monster and what everything. But I do need to think on it some more because I need to know what like a baseline is.
Yep.
I think typical baselines for knockdown are like 25% and 10%. So I don't think it's like a likely thing. It's like a every once in a while you knock them down. So 18 is a hit, 12 is a miss, and 18 is a hit. So you've done what, 15 damage? It's actually enough to kill that were-rat, so you can narrate that.
Basically jump on him, hitting his shoulders with my paws, knocking him down, and I bite into his neck, ripping it out.
All right, awesome. In spite of his partial resistance to normal weapons, your powerful paws gut the were-rat, avenging your friend, the chibi cat kit.
And then I turn around and look at his friend.
Not that Chibikit's been killed, but he's been battling with these guys. Yep, you turn around and face his friend, and you'll have to wait till next round to attack him. And the dead one's turn, so he gets taken out of the initiative. This one's asleep, so he gets taken out of the initiative. A new round, so I will re-roll the sequence. Seems like there's one were-rat left that's still an adversary, so we'll stay on initiative order for now. Hadrig. Lex, I think that looks nice on Twitch, like the way you've held the zoom and like even the turn order and stuff.
Yeah, I've tried to keep a fair amount of the map showing.
Yeah, I think you've done a really good job of that because I personally have it zoomed way more out. As DM, like I wish I could be that zoomed in because it looks better. The tokens look better, but I when I'm zoomed out, I can access a lot more of my stuff that's in the margins and just see more of the general
Well, at least you
environment.
can glance at my screen and get a closer view.
Yeah, I like that. It's fun.
I had a question for you, Gold. If you use a spell that actually is like an attack spell, it automatically takes effect. Like I'm looking here at Magic Stone. Okay. Basically, you pick up 3 stones, you throw them, and they somehow turn into,
To a what? I don't know.
Their stones are considered. You get 3 stones. They're considered a +1 weapon. Determining if a weapon can be hit. They do about probably 1d4 straight up.
Yeah, okay. I was making sure you weren't saying they turn into a boulder because that's a more powerful spell.
No. So, I mean, I'm not going to get close to these guys. I'm going to let Havarti do his thing, but I'm going to probably, I don't know. There's always a chance to hit.
Okay, so you want to enter...
That's 200 feet away.
Yeah, I mean, you can do. It's probably a. Can you throw all three in one round, or one per round, or two per round?
I think it's like the same rule as darts, where you throw them and
Yeah, it is. It's
That'd
just
be
the same.
3 per round. So, basically, you can do the movement and still throw 1, or you can throw 3 without moving. But you're probably too far away considering the tree cover in between.
yeah. Okay.
There's heavy tree cover in between you and them. There's like several tree trunks. So you probably would have to move at least halfway closer, and then you could shoot a couple of them on that same round, or 1 or 2, or just less than the full amount.
That doesn't seem like common sense. I forgot we were in a forest. Like an idiot.
But you could do it and still save the rest of the stones for the next round, right? That's what I was saying.
they last. It's just you
Yeah.
throw it. But I think I'm just going to do the more logical thing. I'm just going to.
Okay.
I'm injured, so I'll roll Cure Light Wounds on myself.
Okay. All right. Smooth. That's smart. I have advanced rules for Cure Light Wounds. It's better than it is in the book. So you're going to want to look at the healing potions and cure spells handout.
Yep. 1d4 or 2d4 plus 1.
Paul helped me create that chart.
So there's 7 points, so I'm back to full.
Paul got the vibe of what I wanted the spells to be, and he helped me like organize it into a chart. So I like that a lot. I always wanted higher healing rolls, and we've got them now. Cool. You bounce yourself back, and it's our dog Havarti's turn, who's in the last part of the battle.
All
Who
right.
has one opponent left, a were-rat attacking him with a short sword.
Well, still looming over the corpse of his friend, I'll turn over to him and pounce towards him, trying to do the same. Not so successfully.
Chris, in front of your very face, as you come bounding over the dog, I guess you kind of jump at it, and your paws go past it, and it's now like under your belly on the ground, and you expect it to be laying more on the body of the rat man, but as you look down, it kind of and it turns into a rat about yay size, and it scurries out from under your belly fur and starts to run away into the woods, leaving behind a short sword.
All right.
Takesha's turn. What do you guys think about these tokens I'm using for the were-rats?
Well, they're fine.
I think I like this pixel line of tokens a lot, and like pixels and dragons, and I think they kind of go with the vibe of this game in a good way.
I like pixel art anyways.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I like how these are, standing up, not top down, so they look better with the perspective maps, and yeah, they seem to blend nicely. I think it works. They're intentionally, they're high quality for what they are, but they're intentionally not high quality graphics.
Yeah. No, I like them. I used them when I was doing it. I'll go through this rat's belongings. What's he got?
All right, let me check. Let me see what he has. Wish I knew before. A good organized DM, I would already had that, but I'm gonna actually roll it and see. Oops. Patient treasure seekers. AD&D treasure generator. Type C. 3. Here we go. Okay, I've rolled it out. Oh, wow, Lex. Okay, he's got more than he's got more than I thought he had. I guess he's... oh, no. This totally makes sense. Good. I love it when you roll random stuff and then it makes sense with the plot line that you were working on. He, in addition to his weaponry, belt, and tunic, which are all ordinary, he has some scraps of cheese that are you are uniquely qualified among the party to recognize that these scraps of cheese were among the catering offerings from the party.
Ah.
And he also has a string of white pearls worth 100 gold pieces.
Cool.
So it's a piece of jewelry. It's a white pearl jewelry worth 100 GP.
I'll grab the pearls, and so cheese was at the party, eh? That's a bit dodgy. Slap his face, like wake him up, see if I can get him woken up, or just like wait for the spell to wear off.
Sure, you're able to wake him up. I think either one. You can either wait 5 minutes and he wakes up, but I think you can wake him up. I don't know. Can you, Adrian? I don't even know if he can. Is Takesha able to wake up the were-rat from your spell?
You can, yeah, if you smack it around hardly.
Okay.
I think there's some effort, but
I think there's certain rules for it. Like if your mates are trying to do it during combat, like it takes 2 rounds or something.
Yeah.
I forget the exact rule, but so after some slapping around and water splashing, you awaken him from the spell. And his hands are tied, and he says, "Let me go, you nasties."
I'll lean down close to him and be like, "I'm a priestess of the god Set, the god of snakes and of venom, your natural predator, and unless you want to meet Set personally, you're going to answer a question for me. Do you understand?"
Yeah, sort of. What question? Let me go, you nasties.
Show him one of the bits of cheese and say, "Where did you get this?"
He says, "You agree to let me go if I tell you that?"
I'll agree not to sacrifice you here and now.
He says, "Okay, no kill. I got the cheese by sneaking into that party, into the pre-party,
Why
while they were planning it yesterday."
And why are you after the cat?
That stupid cat has been trying to prevent us from making entry to the party where we can obtain the cheeses and other delightful items.
Okay.
Like these pearls, which I shall let you have if you will let me go.
That seems like a good offer, I suppose. Except you are hunting one of the temple's cats, which is very naughty. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going
to... First of all, lady, I'm not hunting. I'm hunting cheese. Your freaking cat is hunting me.
Well, that's for the gods to decide, and I'll take out...
We'll let you meet them soon.
I'll take out like a bit of cloth and I'll gag him with it, and I'll just say to the others, I'm going to take him to the temple once we're done here. Is everyone else okay? And just kind of look around and see, make sure everyone's in one piece.
As a wife's fund, they don't like their enemies to get away at all. So Havarti's chasing after the rat as he took off.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm letting Lex do a role-play moment on Takesha's initiative, but technically Havarti's not in the conversation. Havarti's still chasing that other rat. So I'll probably maybe advance. Should I advance it, Takesha? Did you get enough for 1 round's worth of information?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so the rats that the rat that you woke up is still not asleep. But you haven't let him go yet either. I mean, he's awake, but he's not dead, and he's not been let go. Correct?
Yep.
Adrian.
As far as yeah.
Uh-oh, battery running low on the laptop. Need to plug one in. BRB while Adrian thinks of what you're going to do.
It's Hadric's turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hedrig.
Vardy's out there by himself, so I guess, I'll wander about halfway up, looking to see if I can hear, following the noise of, the barking and the noise of a dog hunting its prey. Since Tacky's going to spend time parlaying with a rat we should just kill.
Oh, the killing will happen. Just, I'm going to probably sacrifice him to Set. So it's all going to be good.
And let me get my end of tour. So dog goes.
The cat pops down from the trees.
Your turn, Chris.
Yep, I'm chasing after the rat and attacking it if I can catch up to it. Man, all this talk of food and cheese and food is really bad.
Just go grab yourself a nice, juicy bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, I've already ordered Subway for ending time.
They deliver you Subway?
No, but I have one literally like a block away.
Oh, cool.
I'm not the biggest fan of Subway, but it's convenient. Their chopped salads are pretty good. Dun, dun, dun. And here we thought Eric would be the one sacrificing people. Naked Ratwoods. Nice. The cat turns into a dragon.
What I missed? Did you guys kill that were-rat yet?
Yes.
I'm chasing after it, and if I can catch up to it, I'll attack it.
Yeah, you can. Chris, I was gonna make a mechanic. Let me check. I'm gonna check his movement rate and your movement rate. I'm pretty sure you're gonna by far catch up to him easily.
Mine's 15. I have no idea what that translates to, though.
That's awesome. 16 is very fast. Quite
15, but so close.
15, okay. 12 is a normal human speed, so 15 kind of translates to 150 feet indoors, 150 yards outdoors, but it can be limited. So like I was kind of using the feet movement rate instead of the yards because of the amount of trees, the density of trees here. And that's per round. So that's how far you're supposed to be able to move in 1 minute's worth of time. Around in this game is a full minute, not 6 seconds like some games. And the were-rats can move at a speed of, where does it tell their speed? Movement 12. Yeah, same as a human. So you outrun it. You're continually able to catch up to it, unless it has some way to like hide or do a hide in shadows or climb a tree or something.
All right. And they'll attempt to pounce on it and bite it again.
The first paw misses. The second paw hits and your bite misses also. So let's see if you did not knock him down, and the damage is not going to be enough to kill him either. So it's going to go into another round, Chris. You're chasing him through the woods, and you're outrunning him, but you only hit him with one paw for 7 points of damage. And after hitting him with that paw, you see him kind of shrug off and regenerate a bit of the damage back too. And he keeps running away from you. So let's advance both tokens. We'll say there he moved his 120 and you moved your 150 and outran him and caught up to him. Chris, I'm going to make a API thing or like a macro thing where see how your dog is like not facing the where we're at right now? I'm going to make it where when you use the right arrow key and move him to the right, that he turns and faces to the right.
That's cool.
And so whenever you want to flip him, there's a way you can flip him already, but it's going to be a lot easier when it just auto flips with the arrow key. I think that would look really neat. So Were-Rat's his turn. He's gonna flee from that big dog, surely. Oh yeah, and I forgot he's just a little rat now, so he doesn't even have his Okay. He's gonna keep fleeing then. All right, I've got a path for him in mind. I know where he's gonna go and where he'll get away from you if you don't kill him before then. So he gets over here somewhere. Okay, Takesha's turn.
I'm guarding this bound rat man up. I don't want him going anywhere. And the dog's gone running way off into the woods. So, I'll call to the cat to see if the cat's around at all.
All right, you call out to the cat and you get a response. How do you do it? Can I hear a verbal?
How would I call out to the cat?
No, how you do it matters in the resolution.
Any NWPs that I could use? I do not.
Okay, no animal handling.
No, oddly enough, no.
Okay, well that is an NWP. You can get it, and
Yeah.
and I'm generous with NWP slots, so make sure you've got all your slots from it. You get one every time you level up. So as soon as you level up, you'll get a slot, which is always cool. So you can always have things in play that you're like, oh, I never expected that to come up, but since it's been coming up, I'm going to go ahead and learn that one next level.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I'll just guard this chap. I don't want him going anywhere and escaping or anything like that. Yeah, I'll just stay guard on this dude.
He's awake, so do you want to dialogue anymore with him? Is there any more information you can get out of him? You kind of threatened him, and he kind of told you that he had been in. Well, what ended up happening? Did he come clean with you, or?
Well, he said that he sneaked into the party and nicked the cheese.
Yeah.
He said that
that's exactly what
the temple cat was attacking him, which is a bit odd.
Okay, well then maybe that's part of the puzzle that you're trying to figure out what's going on, what dynamic there. I have the answer to that.
I'll smile at him and I'll say, look, I don't really want to hurt you. Quite the opposite, in fact. I really want to help you. I'm going to use my seduction NWP, and
Ooh.
I'm going to say, look, I really need to know what you are actually doing, because otherwise these guys are either going to kill you where you stand, or in your case, where you're trussed up, or you're probably going to be sent to the temple, and you attacked a holy cat, which is heresy of the highest order. Even the pharaoh's not allowed to attack the cats. They'll probably sacrifice you or something horrible to set. Why don't you tell me why you're really here? Let's see what he says.
All right. Okay. Well, he says, It's pretty simple, and to be honest, now that a couple of my friends have kind of ran off and abandoned me, maybe you and me could get a thing going, because I kind of have like a stake places out and relieve them of a little bit of their assets, and then cruise back out into the woods for a nice, comfortable place to live.
I'll maybe he does know it. Maybe he does.
So burglary. He's into burglary.
Oh, I'll speak to him in Thieves' Cant and say, do you live in the city?
I don't know if you consider this part of Hirokote or not. Me and my friends call this the Naked Rat Woods.
Oh, but you do speak Thieves' Cant, though. That's interesting. Are you in employment of...
Oh, you said that to him in Thieves' Cant. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, Lex. I didn't catch that. Okay, so you said that to him in Thieves' Cant to see if he could hear you and respond.
Yeah, see if he knows Thieves' Cant.
Gotcha. All right, let me find out if he's... Hold on one second. He's intelligent enough. I think it's fair to say that he would know Thieves' Cant.
Cool.
Do you have to be a member of a specific guild to know it, or is it something like kind of all thieves?
It's most thieves will know it. It's like it's the language of the streets, really. Anyone who's sort of into that kind of underworld would probably be able to speak it to some degree.
Okay, so he has that. He basically has a. That's funny, Solid. He basically has a disease, so he's not welcome in the city. So he wouldn't be cruising up into the city, hanging out at the Thieves Guild, getting training. He's just got his own band of thieves out here in the woods who effectively have leprosy or whatever. It's not leprosy though. It's lycanthropy, which he might even be. It's quite possible this guy could be a former human whom was bit by a infected rat.
Yeah. Well,
and now he's half rat, half man.
So I'll use my fast talking NPC, and I'm going to speak partially in common, but partially in Thieves' Cant, just dropping the Thieves' Cant in there, so that should the others be listening, they'll be hearing me speaking common. So the common part of the conversation goes thusly. I think you've made a big mistake here. Attacking a temple cat is the wrong thing to do. I don't want to butcher you, because I'm not an evil person. I don't want to kill people in cold blood. But you could probably do something to redeem yourself. But in Thieves' Cant, I'm going to say to him, I like to have connections, and the people I work for like to have connections. I'm pretty sure that I could find work for people of your obvious skill. I realise you're not allowed in the city because of your affliction, but we don't really have contacts outside the city. How about we make a deal?
Okay. He says, now we're talking. Basically my, assets and skills is, I know where the, borders of the city are, and like a few different places. I mean, all the places to sneak in and, kind of get in people's like back gate, backyard, back fence, back patio, French doors.
Excellent. That sounds great. Okay, here's what we're going to do. What she'll do is she'll be talking...
You're going to need to untie me first.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. So in common, I'll be saying, look, attacking this cat was wrong. I'm a member of the priesthood. I should really kill you here. But I think the Temple of Set needs to sort you out. And in Thieves' Cant, I'll be saying, I'm going to lose...
hold on. Wait, before you say the Thieves' Cant part. So everybody else, you can understand when Lex is talking in the common about how it was this priestly take on things, and then Lex sort of starts... what would you say? Like, it's not like you switch to another language. It's more like you sort of start talking with a few gang signs and stuff.
Yeah.
And
It's like movements and so
1 4 3 2 QX 3 9 2 boop boop northwest.
Yeah.
And everybody's what?
So it looks as though I'm lecturing.
Understand that last part.
It's like I'm lecturing him, but there's hands like with my hands.
But not even like you're lecturing him in like French or something, like another language where you're hearing every word. It's more like a couple symbols.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
it's real subtle. Like you could you could do it from across the room without having the other person hear you or something, Yeah. Like baseball, like in baseball, like the catcher
exactly. Yeah, like the coding that they would do. So in the coding, I'll say to him, I'm going to loosen your bonds. You run. Don't come back until midnight tomorrow night. I'll meet you at this spot and we'll discuss your employment. If you don't show up, I send the dog after you. And I'll use my blade in my pocket, and I'll loosen his bonds, like partially cut them, so where he could just break them if he wanted and run.
Okay, all right. I mean, I think when he sees his chance, when everybody's kind of like looking at each other, talking about what to do or whatever, he breaks the bond and scurries away.
Cool.
Do I need to scurry him part way, or is he able to depart? I didn't know if you were just saying that and then you were going to shoot him down as he ran away, or...
No, I want the deal with him. I'm going to get him to work for me.
Okay. Okay. So I put him off by the coast, and he has a deal with you guys. And these naked mole rat things are hilarious. That's great. I love the lively chat. Big fan of getting some humor into the game. Yep. Okay. Clear the initiative order. That would make the most sense. Well, I should have kept going because Havarti was still chasing that rat. Yeah, Havarti, go ahead and give it another. You got another round of chase.
Same thing. Attempts to pounce on it.
Okay, let's see your rolls. You catch up to him again, of course, and miss, hit for 14 damage. Ooh, good knockdown too. But not quite as low as I was looking for you to roll on the knockdown. So it's still not a knockdown, but you almost got it. So you kind of trip him up a little bit. What was the total damage? 14?
14.
Ooh. Is that all? Bless doesn't give you a +1, does it?
I think it's just a hit, not damage.
Yeah,
All right. You leave him with 1 hit point, and just at the last second before he's about to scurry away into the blackness of the fog of war and the parts of the map that get the wilderness and away from the city section, somewhere where he could just scurry down a little rat hole. Just before that happens, Havarti leaves him with 1 hit point by pouncing on him, and then a little blue cat jumps down out of the tree and scratches the were-rat to death.
Cherry tapped.
And he kill stealed from Havarti. So Havarti, you see a little blue cat standing there that just kill stealed from you.
I'll kind of calm myself and kind of sit down looking at the cat with concerning eyes, trying not to scare it off.
Oh, that's so sweet. It says
Thinking that it's the cat we're looking for.
Grayson, do you want to voice this NPC? Where are you? It says so it's like 20 feet away from you, and it gives the curious sound. And then it noses up on this were-rat over here, and it bites something that's in the were-rat's pouch and starts carrying it with it.
I will speak in common, not knowing whether the cat understands me or not, and say, "You must come back to the temple. You're being looked for."
All right, he goes.
I'm assuming it's a cat I would have seen hanging around the temple.
Yeah, you
Would I be able to
recognize it.
it?
Yeah, this is the cat that you can tell the whole party's been looking for him all day. They've been running around going like, "Chibba cat, here, chibba, 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 chibba," and he hasn't came out at all. Lex, the thing you were looking earlier for an NWP to try to find the cat, but I was waiting to see if you were going to say, "Here, chibba, 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 chibba." I was gonna have it come maybe if you said his name, but you didn't. So
I've owned so many cats, they never come.
Well, okay, well maybe you knew that. All right, you're probably ahead of me.
They do what they want.
You're right about that. But I was sort of testing to see if you knew its name. But anyway, they've been calling to this stupid cat all day. So there it is, and you're laying down on the ground, and it's kind of first it pulls something out of the were-rat's pocket, and then the cat does approach you with it in its mouth, and it kind of puts its treasure down on the ground, and he puts one paw on the treasure, and then he kind of reaches his other paw out and he puts it on your paw.
I look at it as in, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I don't want to fuck it. And I again speak in common to the cat.
Wait, how do you speak in common to it?
Through the enchanted leather collar that I wear. So
Okay.
from the order, it's not something that I do openly.
Okay.
To
That's
kind of
cool.
so that I'm still able to not be noticed, and I'm still able to look out for things for the order and kind of be a fly on the wall, so to speak.
This is so awesome. That's hilarious. I love it. It's like in the scene when it's only Havarti and the cat and all the humans are away, like he talks to him in English, but then when all the people are around, he's like, woof, meow, woof. Lex, what's the abilities of these cats? I mean, is it like a normal cat in terms of his understanding of common? Like he pretty much understands it, but he can't talk it.
Yeah.
This cat doesn't have a magic collar like Havarti has. So that's like a collar of comprehend languages or something, or
Kind
something
of.
along those
It's just with common as far as being able to speak and understand. Mostly because I knew how to before when I was a human. It just
Right.
kind of.
And does it come out sounding like I don't know, there's a lot of different movies that have talking dogs. Like some they talk totally normal English or like British accent or whatever, and some they talk like
It'd probably be
Scooby-Doo, you know?
pretty normal common, but probably a little more gruff and a little more
Okay.
guttural.
All right, well, let's hear do the gruff and guttural part then. And what do you say to the cat?
Follow me.
Follow you. Okay. The cat picks up his little treasure on the ground, which you notice is some kind of like silver bracelet. You would call it a silver bracelet. And he's got a silver bracelet in his mouth, and he's got a little collar, a special temple collar on him. And when I get that macro, he'll turn around and walk the right direction instead of walking tail first. But he goes with you. You can see him on map, right? He's a little guy. He's right there. Yeah.
And I head back to the party.
All right. You and the little cat go back to the party with the cat carrying a silver bracelet in its mouth, which I'll try to remember. I can actually put that on the token. Let me see. GM notes on the token. Nice. Has a silver bracelet of worth. Save those notes. Okay, awesome. Cool feature of Roll20. I got to get used to that, making notes so I can remember stuff later. Okay, the dog comes back to the party and has the cat with him. Some of you have not encountered the cat yet.
Howdy dog, howdy cat.
A blue cat emerges from the tree line with Havarti the dog, and this was the cat you were supposed to rescue on today. So it says to you, AJ.
I'll crouch down near the cat, because obviously I'm dressed like the priestess, and be like, "Hello there. Come, let me carry you home. The temple high priest, she's very worried."
All right, the cat goes bounding off towards the castle party.
Oh no. Yes, Adric, this is the cat.
I'll probably let us finish up this game maybe within 5 minutes or so, and then have like 10 minutes at the end to hang out and just talk about like how it went and what we're gonna do next week, things like that. So I don't want to rush you guys at all, but last few minutes of actions, and then whatever needs to be done episodically, I may say is episodic, and you guys make it back, or we may pick up from the same moment next week. But that's kind of a one-shot quest there, in which you can ultimately get the cat back home. Basically, it goes into the castle and returns the silver bracelet to them.
Cool.
where it is rewarded with cat treats. And then it comes back out, and you guys can take it back to the temple. So you go ahead, Lex. How you can describe again the picking up of it and taking it to the temple now.
Yeah, I'll just pick it up, let it sit on my shoulder, and we'll head back. I'll head back to the temple with it. Pretty much directly, because I know what cats are like. They get bored very easily. And yeah, we'll present it to Nefer, and the party can decide what wonderful reward they wish to reap from the temple.
Yeah, I mean, their main offer was that they were going to hook you up with free heals. But some people wanted gold more than free heals. I get that. Hadrian can cast heals himself. So that makes sense. So they will reward you guys with a flat and simple 100 gold pieces each. Guys, I'm trying to make money super simple for people. I know personally I hate doing a lot of accounting with like copper pieces and breaking down change and stuff. So I'm not going to give you 57 gold pieces and have you divide it between 4 people and everyone gets 16.3 gold pieces. So just let's just have everyone gets an additional 100 gold pieces. Some people during the game found treasures. If you want to add that treasure to the party loot, you can do that. But if you want to keep it for yourself, I'm 100% fine with that. I don't think it's as big of a deal as some campaigns think it is. But money is not worthless in this. It will be traded in for mechanical benefits and things you can buy in the world, but things that may benefit your character later too. So where I've de-emphasized XP a little bit, I'm not making you guys take an amount of XP every week, but I'll have us all rise in XP together. And I'm not making you track little copper pieces. All I want you to do is if you get 100 gold, add 100 gold onto your bio. And so that at the end of the game, you might have ever so many hundreds of gold. Like, let's give you a fake example. Like you might be able to get a +1 on your ability score on your next character if your ancestor had 1,000 gold.
Nice.
So everybody try to collect several hundreds of gold so that you can be rich as an ancestor and your descendants can benefit. Because you're going to be playing your descendant in the game. So hopefully you're incentivized to. You can also do things like buy +1 weapons and regular stuff in the game, like a house or a castle and whatnot. But and just food a little bit. But again, I'm not going to be like everybody has to take away 3 gold pieces for a night of lodging and a meal and stuff. I just round it all off. So it's the easiest gold ever, but don't ignore it when you get it. Take it.
Vardy has Lex stow away his share of any earnings into a stash for his own purpose.
So Hardy's really trusting.
Cool. DM has Lex.
Lex.
DM has Lex do the stream, write the novel, and voice the NPCs. Everyone's like, here, Lex, do this. So track the money. You're the treasurer for the dog. He doesn't count and carry change or GPs. Hadrig, have you been collecting any money? Have you gotten any yet, or are you screwed because you're not a thief?
Well, this has been the most money I've gotten other than the 10 GP. I mean, I searched the rat guy up top and don't know what I found, so.
Okay, then I missed that in chat. Are you the only guy that searched this dead rat?
I'm assuming such because the dog killed him and he didn't really spend any time with him.
Yep, and that's not the one that the cat looted. So that one has, I've rolled it up. Let me see here. Okay, he has a garnet, a type of gem, worth 100 gold pieces.
Yeah, I would snatch it.
Yeah.
Put it in my pocket.
Yeah, that's what I think you should do. That's I think that's the easiest way is if you find that the thief's running away with a lot of the treasure, the thief can decide on their own to dole some of it out to the PCs. But for the most part, if you kill somebody and you search the body, you take the treasure unless it's more appropriate for someone else. Like if it's GP, just take it.
Well,
obviously, if it's magic toga, then give it to Adrian. If it's a magic dog collar, give it to Havarti. But
Well, I better run. I have work in the morning, sadly.
Sadly, yes, back to work after your holiday.
Yes, indeed.
All right, thanks for streaming the show.
That's
That's
all right,
fun
no
to put it back
probs.
out. Lex, good job on the RP today, and just hit me up during the week on Discord, and we can talk about anything like production
cool.
values or character stuff. And oh yeah, I do appreciate you journaling this week and working on your character for ahead of time for the next season of the campaign.
Yep, it was lots of fun. I had fun doing thiefy things.
You did. Well done.
I think I need to be banned. I don't think I should be allowed to play a thief.
I think it's great. I like as much thief action as possible. Do a lot of thief rolls, and I think it's a lot of fun. And you also did quote priestly things, so good dual personality play.
I will see you guys, no doubt, during the week on Discord.
All right, sounds
See
good.
you later.
Have pleasant English dreams.
I shall.